Wileyverse. We've been gone for 2 weeks. Thanks for joining us again, if you're joining us. This is the Wileyverse. We are playing D&D every week here, except for the 10th and the last week.
Yeah.
Most weeks we try. We are running a D&D 5th edition campaign. It's a specific campaign where all the players are Dragonborn, and they are playing a group that is trying to save their homeland, a clan. They're all of the same clan. So, might as well go around with introductions. At the end there is Robert. This week's stream is not brought to you by Canada Dry, but we're open to sponsorships.
Canada Dry, every Dungeon Master's ginger ale.
Yeah. Robert is playing Rofros, the Paladin of Bahamut.
He's really strong. He's really cool. Super cool guy.
Super cool. Super cool. Next to him is Mitch playing Xeranex, the Arcane Trickster.
He's the sneaky sailor.
The sneaky sailor.
The bronze clap, I think we talked about.
No, clap.
Oh.
The copper also.
Copper clap. The copper slap?
Yeah, the copper clap that I picked up on the high seas.
That's... It's only when you do it, though.
Like a copper clap.
We also have Dayton playing Lord Savroth, one of the nobles of the clan and a cleric of Bahamut. No anything to say?
No.
That's Dayton, everybody.
That's me.
I am Wiley. I'm running the game and also playing the NPC Ayasa, the gold Dragonborn wizard, who speaks in riddles so that they can't understand me, so I'm not throwing them off course. Or maybe I am
throwing us off course.
Yeah.
So, actually, I wanted to do something a little bit different at the beginning of this game.
Not try to kill us immediately.
Not try to kill you. No, I want to talk about something. I saw on the internet.
Uh-oh. Is it Roll20?
No, it is not.
Oh, thank God.
It's a show called The Animated Spellbook. It's a very good show. If you haven't watched it, watch The Animated Spellbook. The guy's got oodles and oodles of D&D knowledge. He can draw and animate, and his adventures sound awesome and amazing. And
Is it Z Bradshaw?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is he the one that puts animated spell cards on Reddit?
He doesn't.
No, but he is sponsored by the people that are doing that.
Sweet.
They're doing a Kickstarter, animated spell cards, which I think I'm going to pick up. But I wanted to talk about his stuff because he'll talk about a spell and tell you about its uses and how cool it is or not cool it is or whatever. But he went into an in-depth dive on a particular spell, and it caught me thinking about my GMing style and how it's different from others. And two of these folks, Dayton and Mitch, are fairly new to gaming, and they've only gamed with me as the GM, except for when we did a stint as Mitch as a GM, but he has only played under my games. Under me. So I wanted to go over a thing called Raw. And
After you started with Under Me.
Which stands for Rules as Written. And it's what rules lawyers and really stringent GMs and players do. It's also, like, if you were just playing a glorified board game, essentially, people would be big sticklers on Raw. And I want to go into the fact that I want to make a story, and we're all trying to make a collaborative storytelling experience. I'm trying to do something that we would like to watch as a show. Hi, everybody. Tell a story like Firefly or X-Files or something like a cool storyline that goes on and on and on.
Just compare this to X-Files.
Yeah.
So,
So
I use the rule of cool.
I figured Mulder would be smashing to arrest us.
I use the rule of cool a lot, but I also will fall back to the rule, and mainly what it suits me, and I'm mainly trying to do is not have something steamroll over everybody's fun, and also not go off the rails. But the spell that he went in depth in is called Acid Splash.
Oh, yeah.
It's a cantrip. And I think we've talked about Acid Splash before,
Because I have acid
because you have
breath.
acid breath,
Yes.
and we were looking at it as a spell, as a cantrip, and all the useful things it could do, especially as a thief. Some things come to mind, like melting locks or the triggers of traps,
Escaping
kind of burn
from
ropes,
handcuffs,
things like that. So
putting
we
a
have
spy hole in the floor.
we have all those cool things that, like, oh, you make a little splash of acid. You can do all kinds of stuff with that, except when you read the spell. The spell says, you hurl a bubble of acid. Choose one creature within range, or choose two creatures within range that are within 5 feet of each other. So right there it says, you can't shoot this at a lock. You can only shoot it at a creature.
Well, that's no fun.
Right? And a target must succeed a dexterity saving throw or take 1d6 acid damage. The other thing that it doesn't say is that it burns or melts anything. It doesn't harm equipment on those creatures. Unlike certain fire spells, and there's fire spells that specifically say they catch things on fire, and there's fire spells that specifically don't say anything. It's just a fire damage for a type.
So this is just an acidic form of damage.
Right.
So my breath would be the same thing.
No.
Oh.
Your breath is actually acid spitting out of your body when you vomit acid.
Which I think he said
But this is mainly what I'm trying to get at is
That's no fun.
that's no what is that? What's the difference between this and taking any other spell at that point if you can't use it utilitarian style?
Well, so this
And
would be like
in
that,
my
then.
game, I would totally let you use this to melt locks and burn through stuff and all that stuff.
So despite the fact that it says in the raw, as an action once per short rest, exhale in a 5 by 30 foot line.
Yeah.
So I would have to be like, I'm going to melt these handcuffs.
Yeah, it goes, well, that's why I also said you can do a certain amount of uses where you just bring up some, like coating the daggers, doing that stuff, and that's, again, going outside of raw.
Yeah.
So, you can either spew out a huge line of acid and burn your cuffs, or...
And part of my friends. And
The other thing that someone went into is with Acid Splash, and this is how crazy people that are rules lawyers get. Okay, well, I'm going to put an ant on a lock and shoot it with Acid Splash because now it's a creature.
Right.
But again, it still doesn't say that it's actually melting the environment or harming the environment. Though
the ant picks the lock, and then you kill the ant so that it can't tell anybody else.
Right, yeah.
That's all you do. That's just easy.
putting ants in the
Easy.
bottom of
Easy.
bottles, shooting the acid splash in, collecting all the acid, and pouring it into one bottle, so now you have a bottle of acid.
Except that it's instantaneous.
And it disappears. Right, that's the other thing, is it disappears. And that's where, so if I was running Acid Splash in my game, if someone had it, and I'm just saying this out there for how I run games and the pacing and all that kind of, the rule of cool, you could absolutely melt a lock with this thing. You could absolutely burn through rope. You can absolutely, make a hole in a wooden wall. But I would absolutely enforce the fact that you couldn't just sit there over a pot and make gallons and gallons of acid with a free cantrip. That just wouldn't work because it's instantaneous. It disappears after the magic effect happens. So sometimes I go rules, sometimes I don't, but it's all to not just go insane with the storyline. So that's kind
I
of
think
what
we can all agree, that silly obscure rule that you can't have more than one concentration spell at a time. We can just chuck that out, I think, real quickly.
I would test. I would even it'd be ridiculous for combat, but I would test
You really
out
would.
a Shadowrun style concentration, where you can have multiple spells going, but every time you cast a new spell, you have to make a save,
A concentration.
a concentration save. Otherwise, you lose all of them. But I think the game designers there's so many bonuses and buffs that concentration is just
Have you ever played a wizard in 3rd edition?
stacked.
You just just layers and layers of protection spells on you. You're flying. You got like shield against psionics and magic and missiles and also you have all those second level aid those buff spells. You have +4 strength, +4 dex, plus eagles intelligence,
bear's endurance, bull's strength,
grace.
cat's grace.
Yeah.
So just a quick, what you guys are getting into when you're watching my streams. We're trying to tell a narrative. I try to keep it as realistic as possible, but I also will ignore certain rules when...
We want to have fun.
Yeah.
I want my acid to melt stuff. Welcome to Applebee's. We have vanilla D&D and chocolate D&D.
Chocolate D&D.
Oh, D&D, the Deemer voice.
Hey.
Yeah, Mitch.
So, what we are doing in this campaign is these fine Dragonborn have... Two of them are servants, or at least adherents, of Bahamut, the Platinum Dragon God.
Oh, I'm not certain. Yeah,
These two. They received kind of a quest, a mission, if you will, to save their homeland. And they have gone so far as to retrieve a very rare piece of metal from a very unusual monument, which is steeped in dragon lore. Mm-hmm. We're calling it Platamantium. Nice. Because it's...
I didn't write that down.
It's got all of the properties of platinum and adamantium, or adamantine. And they believe that in the primal realm that this thing came from, it was the spear of Bahamut himself. And now they are heading out to try to figure out how to forge this thing back into the weapon it once was.
Forge it, quench it, concentrate it. And we prefer to call it Zundshay, thank you.
Alright. You can call it whatever you want. No, you can't, actually. They were leaving the town outside of where they retrieved this, a small town called Shade Rest, where they had some aid, but they also had some obstacles. They met some worm or dragon spawn of Tiamat and minions of the cult of the dragon who were trying to stop them and also take hold of that item.
We were duped. By Duke Duperton.
By Duke Duperton.
He took us to Townsville. Which totally exists on your map here.
It totally exists.
Where is this going? Oh, you don't need that old thing. It's a very new place.
Duke Roth Janus.
That's right.
Said he was a
duke?
He said he was a noble of Neverwinter that had left to go aid the war in Cormyr, and that upon his return, as he was trying to trek back, he spun a story that his wife was out to kill him and take his title and lands.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if that was true. He's dead now. So
he's dead now. You never know.
We could show the truth his corpse and
he led them off the path and right into an ambush by the same dragon spawn that tried to take the item from them the first time, and they vanquished these dragon spawn. They got led into a box canyon.
Finally.
Vanquished the dragon spawn and their minions, and you guys investigating the area found the caravan, which you saw.
Loaded.
Which was loaded with treasures.
200 silver bars, I think?
There were... Not 200. 250 gold worth of silver bars.
That's pretty late.
Some bolts of silk and some other artworks. But the main thing is there was 2 laborers. Like, just 2 of the guys that were, pushing and pulling the boats when they were out there. What did you guys do with these laborers?
Ate them.
They immediately tried to run when they saw you.
Yeah. We should probably question them. Hold on, I'm busy chasing them, really. I'm chasing them down.
Just tell me what you do.
I think catching them would be the
capture,
the
kill,
right thing
marry. No. Capture, kill, let go. So you want to capture them.
Capture question dispense.
Yeah. They don't need to die. They're just hirelings, but they might.
That's what dispense.
Depends on how loyal they are. Because, and it also depends on your alignments. So you want to hear lawful good?
We never went over alignments.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I don't... I'm not a huge stickler on them.
It is weird because we're like... Our alignments are clan,
Yeah.
and our traditions and our customs.
Bahamut is...
He's a good one.
He's a lawful good god, but he is also fairly justice-based.
Mm-hmm.
And these laborers have been helping people do horrible things for a very long time. And if you feel that they may go back, like if they're just going to run off and tell people that you survived, then in Bahamut's eyes, you'd be completely justified in dispatching them.
I feel that
as long as it's clean and painless, since they're not combatants.
Right.
They're prisoners.
Because I feel like Rofrost is a bit of a lawful neutral type. He's kind of.
We could always turn them in.
But doing good is impressive to this supposed deity that's trying to help us, and he rewards us for it.
Sorry, what was that, Mitch?
I was like, we could always turn them into the authorities. We can
Yeah,
drag them back
you
to
can keep them with
us.
them. Keep them with you. We've done this before in Robert's game. Just drag some goblins behind wagons.
Yeah, I'm so sad that game didn't take off.
So, we'll get to what you do with them what kind of questions are you asking them?
Like
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
They work for the Cult of the Dragon.
where did they come from?
These two came from Baldur's Gate, but they've been all over. They've only been in service to these dragon spawn for a short period of time, and they were picked up in Cormyr.
What did they do before?
They were working as laborers in other places where the dragon cult had interest.
Oh, so they're senior laborers.
They're senior laborers.
They got seniority.
They'll show you that they've all been essentially branded. It's more like a wizard's mark, permanent wizard's mark. But I get to show you guys for this finally, because you never killed any of these guys before. And
you see the mark of Tiamat or the Rune Cult. Cult of the Dragon.
Cult of the Dragon. Dragon? So every single one of them has...
Are those spikes through Bahamut's head?
No.
Those are claws.
It's a claw behind a dragon's head.
Can the camera see it or no?
It'd have to be through yours.
It's different.
Yep.
You do
So-
Mac Blake's voice.
There you go.
What?
It's a comedian. He speaks like that.
So all of them have that mark, and when you actually look on all of the mercenaries, like that you've killed, just the sword and shield dudes in armor, they all have it. Every single one of them.
Wow.
Somewhere on their body. So.
Are they slaves?
Nope. Just once you're in, you're in. Like.
Do you have family?
Somewhere back in. One of them's like somewhere back in Baldur's Gate, where the other one's like, "Oh, I got 3 children and 2 wives and 5 grandfathers. Please don't kill me."
Right. What is your favorite color?
Yeah.
And the Tiamat punish you.
You got any
for picking the
questions?
wrong one.
Pink. So since you asked that, he's like, brown. Because he doesn't know what bronze is. Or you're silver, aren't you?
No, I'm bronze.
You're bronze, okay. So he's
Silver.
like, yeah, you're silver.
I'm copper, so we both look kind of brown.
Yep, so he's
Yeah.
like, tan.
Interesting. Well,
So yeah, these are laborers. They've been following you since Cormyr.
They're also dragon cultists.
They're
what do
also
you know
dragon
about
cultists.
What do you know about these beings?
They came from over the sea. We picked them up in a boat. Well, we didn't pick them up. They came off a boat.
On whose orders? Don't
They wouldn't say they spoke their own tongue to each other.
Are there any more of them wandering about in these lands? Specifically this area.
We saw them
the
talk
world.
to I think they were talking to a big red dragon.
Oh, it's that fucking
That
Drake.
flake.
And I think there was a white's one of them once.
I do it.
But we've only seen it once.
Doesn't they say silver? White's
No, white. It is
I'm
white.
joking.
Like
I was being fake racist.
fascist.
I was being scalish. Scalist, I guess.
Where are we going?
Neverwinter.
Go to Neverwinter.
Are you asking them where we're going?
Quizzing them.
Speaking of which, just as a recap for the audience at home, they were on their way to Neverwinter to seek out information about a dwarven forge.
Mm-hmm. What is... Someone else? Volkundral?
Mm-hmm.
Good job. You can read your own handwriting.
Someone else wrote that in there.
Yeah,
I think you wrote that in there.
because he
That looks
was.
like your writing.
Oh, Neverwinter, that's me, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you're right, this is my weapons here. Oh, my bad.
you were a bit
Jimmy.
you were a bit out of it last game.
Who?
You. That's why he was
It
writing
wasn't
in your
me.
book
Yeah.
You just grabbed it, alright.
because he
Just
just
drinking ginger ale. I'm fine. Alright.
not last time. We were out of ginger ale because you drank ginger ale the previous time. That's right.
That is correct.
That is correct.
Well.
Well,
There's actually video evidence of it. We can
Play the video. Alright. Gee whiz.
I know, right? Where did you stay here in town on your
Like, should we just...
there's no town.
Yeah.
Should we just take them with us to Neverwinter and just let them tell us their entire story and like...
You can ask questions as needed. You can shackle them in there.
Will they slow us?
You can. Well, the thing is, you have a bunch of you have bolts of silk and bars of silver. You could take all that stuff and throw it into the bag if you want. Or like, there's 2 oxen and 5 carts. You can take one of the carts and the 2 oxen. It will slow you down because the oxen need rest.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll have a cart that you can hold the prisoners and all of the loot in.
I like carts.
What do you think, boss?
It's probably a good idea. Just take the cart and the oxen.
Or we could just execute them and be on our tireless steeds of onyx.
We're not executing them.
No.
No?
Did you have any questions for them?
Oh, and I asked if there were more of the dudes. Where did you see this whitish fellow?
We met up with him, I think, before we left Cormyr. They seemed to send him off somewhere.
Was it large like the red one?
There wasn't a red. Oh, no. They think the red one was a dragon.
Yeah, we're saying how big was the white one?
No. He was man-sized. So, smaller than
Like this big?
man.
Oh, I think you said
I
hand
think
size.
hand as well, yeah.
I swear you said hand
Man-sized.
size. I was like, is that big? I was like,
Which would be,
Get them.
except for the black. The black was smaller than everyone else. Like, because he stooped over and was kind of slinky. But that would put him smaller than both the blue and way smaller than the green. But it would put him on...
So you only beat the small one. That's what he's saying.
how many of them did you beat?
He survived. Well,
Who killed the blue one? You killed the green one and the blue one?
Yeah.
you did?
And then you killed the black
You
one?
killed
No,
one,
you
did I?
killed...
Didn't you kill the
Damn
blue? I
right
think
I
I looked
did.
back up, right?
I just wanted to hear it
I don't
again.
remember.
The blue one was the
The warlock, the schemer.
Me or Ayasa took that one down.
Oh,
I think Yasa
I
got
think
the
Yasa
killing
got
blow.
Oh, that's
with
right.
the
Yasa
Siri-
did
Siri
take that one
I
blast.
down.
did do one of my
Blasted the hell out of
inflict.
That's right.
inflict wounds.
Yeah, I did one of those and did a lot of damage to him, but I think Ayasa.
That's right. I'm mixing it up
Finished
with
it
the
off.
with the Drake fight at the end.
All right. So
I beat that
You're-
thing up, but it ran away.
Take the cart, take the oxen, guard the prisoners.
you secure them in the back easily enough. They have manacles. So,
Interesting. What they got those for?
well,
Yeah.
dragon cult business.
Right.
Rofrus, can you drive the cart?
Yeah, watch me. Alright, Ox. Move!
Ayasa, you want to hang out in the back with the prisoners?
With the prisoners?
I'll hang out behind the cart and keep an eye on the
Okay.
prisoners.
But the rest of us should ride horses.
Your horses, your onyx.
Oh, I just thought,
Chargers.
I thought, well, if Ayasa's behind him, she drive the horse too. But
Yeah.
I just thought
Just in
it'd be-
case they try to jump
I
out
thought
the
it'd be
back,
funny if she was sitting there talking to them and they're like,
telling stories and
they're just like, what is this?
It's like being
person
stuck on a
saying?
long bus ride with a crazy person. You're like, oh my god, this could kill us.
for the sake of the folk at home, we'll go through the treasure list that they got from this fight, because they've looted all the bodies of the thing. They have this caravan of stuff. Also, I don't know if you can take the shields and chain shirts and swords of all the minions. You know, if you want to get ridiculous and take boots off people and clothing, or you can let the dead rest and lie where they are.
Listen, plus Savroth or Goldat probably has some morals about their monies.
This is a covered wagon?
It is not, but it is it's a very high-walled, thick cart. So, like, there's in the cart, hanging on the outside, is a stepladder, which, like, it hangs as hooks on one side, so it hangs against the cart, and then hooks on the other side, so when you pull it out, you can put it against the cart and it comes down, because it's walled on all sides, almost
Right.
like a mining cart,
Yeah.
but made out of wood.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, all right. So they gained an assortment of coins. One book of common dragon lore. One bestiary of common local creature lore for creatures of the North Sword Coast. 3 pounds of silver trade bars. Just bars of silver, no stamp or anything on them, just so that they can trade. 4 bolts of fine silk. 6 sardonyx worth 50 gold pieces each. Worth 2 yellow quartz. A carved statuette made out of bone in the shape of a dragon.
What was that?
A carved bone statuette.
Carved statuette, baby.
In the shape of a dragon. A velvet robe. Very, looks like something you'd wear for going out in high society. Probably for that blue schemer, his finery to go out at night in town. A soapstone bracelet.
Soapstone?
Yep. And a large satin tapestry in a starburst style pattern in red and green on a black background.
Is this heraldry of some kind?
No, but you can't help but notice that it's red, green, and black, which were the 3 colors of the dragon spawn you fought.
Oh, their personal banner, huh?
This might have been their personal, like, us as a group.
That's a tapestry.
Yeah. They also received a Pearl of Power, which was in possession of the schemer. A Cleaver of Wounding, which is in possession of the green dragon spawn they had vanquished earlier. A Dagger of the Pact, a warlock item that was also in possession of the schemer. 2 infusing blades, which were the black dragon spawn blades, the curved wicked blades he used to fight the group with. A ring of the ram, which Duke Janus used to collapse the passage behind them in the ambush. And a wand of the war mage, which was in a box in the rest of the stuff, not being used.
This will fetch a pretty penny. Yeah, let's take this cart then.
So you put all that stuff in the cart, you manacle those guys up and put them in the cart, and take the
We eat one of the oxen.
take the oxen and head out. The oxen make great time because they're not pulling 6 carts like they normally are.
Great. Do we have feed for them? Was it feed?
They had feed.
They're graze animals anyway. I think we should be able to pull aside.
Yeah, there's a couple feed bags with like a couple days of feed, but otherwise, as long as you're in a grassy area, they can feed themselves.
Alright.
Not that I necessarily have to ask if you have objection, but
Here's what the
if you don't have objection, I'm going to put that statuette
Carbon dragon
and
bow.
the common, and the common dragon lore book and the bestiary of local things in my bag.
Okay.
You gonna
So,
read them?
planning on keeping those around in case you want to reference them, because makes sense. You're going to the North Sword Coast, so that book might be worthwhile. You're dealing with dragon spawn, so that dragon lore book might be worthwhile.
Take
Also,
his treasures in his sack.
there's also another thing is like, there's the whole thing about that bag is warded against scrying. So you should be concerned that these, because Tolan was concerned that you might be scryed upon, to put anything unique that they may find you with in that bag. So you may even want to put the tapestry in that bag too, since it seems to be almost a heraldry for that group.
And we're carrying, what did you call the platamantine thing? You had a name for this?
Yeah, we have that in the bag.
What is the name of this?
Oh,
Zhangzhe.
you talking about, Zhangzhe.
Zhangzhe, that's right.
Yeah, stuff it in there, Prince.
Well, Zhangzhe has already been in there.
Right.
That's what it was
So,
designed.
okay, just making sure. Well, I thought it was designed to hold the rock, but it had Zhangzhe in it.
That's the rock.
Yeah, I know. I got it.
Yeah,
It's not a
pretty neat.
spear
So is
yet.
the dragon statue. I tried to develop a robe around me, like a cool
The velvet rope?
robe.
Robe. Okay.
You're
You're gonna-
feels good.
You're gonna ruin the robe before you can sell it for
ruin it.
250 gold pieces?
No, it's
I'm
not
just like-
sexy.
I just see you doing the like the Chris Farley. You're like,
Yeah.
big dragon and a human cool.
And either Ayasa
a
or
lot of money.
Savroth can actually wear the robe, but it's really a little bit more ostentatious than even Goldath standards. So
Fancy.
I'll
Alright,
definitely
maybe I won't-
probably sell that, so don't ruin it, Rofras.
Alright. Take off my cool AC/DC kind of thing going on. Hand it back.
You were wearing the robe around your waist like a grunge sweater. Kind of want him to do it now. It's like the fanciest, most expensive robe we've ever seen tied off at the waist.
I love the dichotomy of this group. It's like, God, we don't get as much treasure as the other group, and when you get treasure, you're like, let's wear it and destroy it.
This group just wants weapons and spells.
These are trophies.
I know, we just want weapons and spells in this group.
I mean, you only got 60, 20, 80, like 80,
Yeah, it's really not that
130
much.
gold total from coins. The rest of the gold is in those robes, the bars, the
I forgot how poor we were.
Yeah.
Alright, so I have the pearl in the ring. He has the blades, right?
Mhm.
He has
Nothing.
none of it.
Nah, I didn't take any of it. Evil.
And Ayasa has
The wand.
so the dagger and the cleaver.
They ostensibly they are going to be used to trade for something more worthwhile in Neverwinter. possibly a new weapon or armor for
I'm
Rofrost.
saying they might be 2 more items to put in a bag versus just sitting around.
Yeah,
Especially
definitely if you're
we
going to
don't
put
want
them.
them sitting around the.
I wouldn't choose
Yep.
any of that evil trickery if I were you, my lord.
So,
Maybe you should not leave the bag laying around next time.
the cleaver,
We're not worthy.
the dagger, the tapestry, the 2 books, and the stone statuette. All in the bag.
Pretty sure that's not pushing 500 pounds yet.
Nope.
What's up with this bracelet? Soapstone. Is that like pumice?
No,
No.
it's just like shale. It's just carvable.
It's
But you can make it pretty ornate because it's soapstone. You can make it.
it actually
more intricate.
has it actually has like negative space in it. So they're little orbs, but then they have like nooks and crannies carved through them
It's one of the
and
things that
worn
made
down.
Jade precious as well. Not just was it like fancy and neat looking, but have you seen like bracelets that have holes and like they've carved into it?
Yeah.
It's because it's carvable.
Yeah.
So soapstone is the same way. Like when you get a chunk of it, you're like, who gives a shit? But if you have a craftsman that can make it into something that's actually worth some money, that's what makes it so special.
And did someone take the artisan tools, the jewel crafting tools? Are you a jewel crafter?
No,
No,
they just look
no,
like
no,
plastic
that's fine.
tools. I'm like, give them to me.
Yeah.
I'll play with them. I'll
That's
figure
fine.
something out with them.
Maybe eventually you can learn jewel crafting.
I guess actually before we take off, do you have that? It might be in his book. Our order in which we generally walk in.
I do.
It's usually me, him, you, Ayasa. Or no,
Ayasa in the back?
him, Ayasa, you.
Yeah.
No, that's all right.
Can
So normally it's Zirnax, Rofrost, Savroth, Ayasa, unless we're going abreast.
So what's
So-
the straight order?
Zirnax,
Zirnax,
Rofrost, Savroth, Ayasa.
That's in the back.
Okay.
What were you
Because
gonna
we
ask?
surrounded you. I mean, that's kind of what we're doing right now anyway.
Yep, since
I
he's
know,
on the
just,
card.
just switching me and Rofrost really.
Because he's on the card. And Yasa's behind the card.
So it would actually be you and Ayasa switching. You want to be in the rear?
No. Yasa's in the rear, behind the
Oh,
card.
okay. You're in front of the cart, and I'm in
in
front.
front of the cart, and then you're in front of me.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Marching order is considered.
Marching orders considered.
I was just thinking about the possibility of can Ayasa control the cart, but
It would be. We can leave our
She's-
tank to do that. Like initial attacking would be better if it's me and her.
putting her in charge of like real animals would probably not be a great idea. Where
that's
he's
fine.
actually had mounted training before.
Excuse me.
Giggity.
Sorry.
Sure.
So,
Well, that was a good half hour.
Yeah, right.
hey, 45
It's,
minutes.
no, you have to. It's useful sometimes. We have to.
And
have to
we
do it.
talked about my style of gaming in the beginning and that cool like.
True. We did some recaps and stuff. It's totally fine.
All right,
We
so you
haven't been
guys
here for 2
are
weeks.
heading down this old trade route towards Neverwinter.
Like, well, yeah.
You want more?
No, I'm good. I think it just hasn't caught up with me.
Did
yet,
you
so-
want some?
No, I'm good.
It's right out on the table, right there.
Is it?
Yeah, sitting right there.
It's that blue, green, white ball right there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Go for it. And you can hear us from there. Alright, he's gone. He's dead.
Damn it!
No. So you guys travel. It's a long and lonely trade route. Like you understand why Shade Rest is the way it is, and that land is pretty untouched. You see a couple caravans here and there. I said this last time when you were traveling up to Shade Rest. Carts and caravans and people are much more wary. Friendly enough once you are deemed not a threat, but they approach you, like they send someone up to greet you. They have guards like ready just to make sure you're not some brigands on the road waiting to jump them. So it's a couple days of that. Then you wake up one morning or going along. Gets to about 3-4 in the afternoon
On the 4th day.
on however many days. I'm not really keeping.
What are, sorry, how long were we expecting the trip to be?
You think you're within a week, a
Okay.
10-day, which
Gotcha.
is in that of getting there. And you're not
Say the total was supposed to be 10 days, right? Or is it longer than that?
10-day to 15 total. You're getting close. You're not sure exactly how far out you are, but you're getting close.
How are we doing on food and rations? I mean, Are we able to hunt along the way?
The 3 scholars gave you a bunch of rations.
Yeah.
We just stole a cartload of
We
rations.
got
yeah.
and we just got
Also, by the way,
oxen's oats.
just to tell you, like every night, like before you, like as you're making camp, Ayasa summons an unseen servant, which will take care of, getting wood for the fire or whatever, putting away stuff, taking the oxen down, like all it just does whatever menial tasks you guys need to do. Helps you get out of your armor type stuff.
Does this guy have a name? Who is this?
It's unseen.
It's unseen.
Well, I
Just
know I can't
invisible.
see him, but
Ayasa has a name
Mage
for it.
hand. Like, hey, Flipper.
you have a mage hand?
Yeah.
I imagine at this point
I
after a
haven't
couple
used it.
days, we're fully rested.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
what
So
that does.
you're fully rested. You also have
Oh, is it not census level? Is it next level where it becomes invisible and Mage Hand can be like, yeah.
Is he
your mage hand is always
It's
invisible.
always invisible.
Yep.
always invisible?
Yeah, from level 1.
Is it his hand?
Giggity. It's called the Stranger. Also, she puts up an alarm around your camp, and she sets it to go in everybody's mind. So if something breaks the
She's
perimeter
done
of the
that
camp,
for once before.
yeah.
So,
So alarm and unseen servant are things she does.
Well, hell, we can rest easy.
So everyone can sleep if you want to, but that still means that like an alarm goes off and you have to wake up and try to figure out what's going on. It's still better to have someone awake and ready in
I
case
can see
something
real
happens.
fast as she's explaining to me what she's doing. Like, what do you do with the string around our campsite? She starts telling me, like, oh, magic alarm will go off on my head. I'll probably just give her this dubious look. Like, I don't think so.
You should probably still have watches,
Yeah.
but alarm is great for those things that you can't see.
or when Rofrost sleeps through watch.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, she's going to
My
get
snoring
Liam in his
will wake
tiny
you up.
hut.
That's how you know it's your watch.
Oh, Rofrost's sleep must be my watch. It's actually kind of funny.
It's like,
But you have plenty of
snore
rations.
thunder and lightning.
Any further, before we get into the next
If we're
part,
gonna
any
set,
further questions for these two guys?
no, I think if we're gonna set watch, which would be the old order, which was what was it, you, me, Ayasa. So you guys take the earlier watches. I take the latest, and Ayasa takes the gets up early watch.
Sure.
I can't remember exactly how we had that set up. It's been a while. But
So you
works.
are
I took the deep nine watch. Is what it is.
you're getting through this day. It's more than halfway over. You're starting to see a lot more snow on the ground. There's more of a chill in the air as you're heading
I
to.
was just gonna say
We're
that.
going to always winter, damn it.
Well, Neverwinter is the city itself. Everything around it still has winter. You are going to the North Sword Coast.
I think we still have a map. We got a map from
It was a trick
Poland.
map.
somebody.
It's an old map.
Oh,
So
this map.
that John Denver's full of shit.
Yeah. Oh man.
Rocky Mountain High, my ass.
These country roads aren't taking me home.
So, up ahead, to the south of the road, you see a large squat structure that has. It's 1.5 story structure, logs and wood. Has a stable and a couple other outer structures. And so, like, you're looking out, there's this structure that's about 50 yards off the road to the south. And then behind that is probably a village of like 50, 60 homes and other structures. So it looks like there's a village out there, and they put up like an inn to be off the road to accommodate travelers if need be. And in the center of that village, the village is pretty haphazard. It's not like some homes are clustered, but in the center of that village seems to be some type of large monument, probably about 12 feet high. It goes just above the rest of the structures. It just looks like a big, like it could be just a rock that is there or something. Just a big,
Obelisk. Yeah.
some structure in the middle of the village.
What is the shape of it? Sorry, it's kind of
Just from like this angle. You're still pretty far out from it. So that's that.
Was this place? Did we see it on the map?
Your map has kind of ended because your map is really just of Cormyr and the Shade area. So like you're getting to the point where it doesn't contain the Sword Coast.
These are prisoners now. We'll show them like, hey, have you been here?
Never
Where'd you guys
been
come
this
from?
room?
You guys sail
Cormyr.
from Baldur's Gate down the river to the Sea of Fallen Stars.
Well, they went all over. Like
Yeah.
we've been up to Waterdeep. We've been over to.
Also, we've just done this the whole time, haven't we?
You've just done pretty much like it's a pretty straight, but a little.
we're in,
You're just going almost straight.
I'm thinking of our previous group where we took the coast up.
Yeah, you're almost going straight west.
Gotcha. I mean, I can ride up ahead and see what's going on.
What are their names? Do they have names? These prisoners?
Sure.
Okay.
There's in and consequential.
All right. Got it.
Almost and dead.
I said they're evil. Are you like really evil? Like, what's it like being in this cult?
Used to just be I ran trains. Giggity.
Evil trains?
They just had the normal stuff in them.
I mean, we've been traveling with them. Are they like dancing to Tiamat? Like
The other guy's like, I was only in it for the social aspects, like an evil Elks Lodge. You know?
Make me wish I would have grabbed the spell silence right now.
For what?
They
Sleep like roll frogs.
It's good to know. Are they
Put
gonna
a
like?
bubble on the card. We don't need to hear you.
they don't seem necessarily evil, but they do seem morally flexible. That they didn't ask too many questions about what was going on of certain things. They've transported prisoners. They've transported bodies.
Right. So
You know,
they're honorless dogs.
they've sat at the camp while entire populations were slaughtered of small villages or whatever. Like they're here because they have a bit of a moral ambiguity that's not
Right.
found in the most common
Right.
folk, and they're in it for the money. They're the kind of people that that sell their mother if the price was right, but they're not going to slit her throat for it.
Gotcha.
Well, I slap them if they don't know the answer to this, what town this is, and throw them back in the caravan. And
That's kind of cruel.
is it? No, I'm not hurting them. I'm just like, wow, that's how you serve evil.
But they're
This is like riffs where Beats killed those dudes.
All
in
right,
the
don't
Santa
slap
Summer.
him.
come on, come on,
All
Edge,
right,
come
all
on,
right.
Edgelord.
So
That's not even what that means.
Saying something to get a rise out of people.
I can ride ahead and check out the town.
Well, it's not even a town, right? It's just
a village.
log.
Well, there's one log structure, and there's about 50 structures behind it.
Oh, okay.
So there's a village behind this. Like 50 yards off the road is the structure, the inn looking thing, and then about
This looks like their tourist catch.
80 to 100 yards behind that is a conglomeration of buildings, of homes and businesses. Well, not really businesses, homes and workshops and things like that. A couple farms further out than others, but
So my only thing is, do we have a reason to go up into this little village?
No, but we
Could
might
be.
have trouble riding past it if they've set up traps and stuff. Like if this is a catch. Like sorry, I'm not saying this in voice. I'm trying to think of what a word for it would be. It could be an ambush for the wary.
it just could be a better place to lay your head than rocks.
A better place to lay your head than rocks. Any place but rocks. I'm a sailor. I'm like, any place but rocks.
You may be on a quest, but that doesn't mean we have to avoid everyone.
I just don't know who they are, whether they're dangerous or not. But yeah.
You're the bonus.
It's probably fine.
Why don't you ride up ahead there, Zoronox?
Shall I sneak or make myself seen? Because I can just ride up and be like, hey, you got lodging? Or I can be like, hey, what's this look like in here?
Be cautious. Don't be sneaky, but be cautious.
Yeah.
So, you head up and ahead of the rest. And as you make your way up and down the little path, you're not cutting across just wilderness to get there. You're actually going on the road
I'm
and then
going to
take
make
the
myself
path
obvious, but
up.
again,
So this thing, like, around the entire structure is like 3-post fence with stacked stone pillars. So they stack stone, stick the three wood planks around it. So nothing very secure, only about yay high.
cowboy castle.
As you ride up, the front gate is open, and there seems to be nothing going on except for you see a couple horses that were probably in the stable just wandering the yard and grazing. The front door of the inn is open.
Very suspicious.
Yeah, right. So now I'm going to dismount and go around the back or side if I can find another entrance or a window to look into.
Stealth. I'm assuming you're stealthing.
Yeah, I'm sneaky now. Oh, that's right. Put my phone out.
Oh, all your proficiencies went up, by the way. Your proficiency bonus is now a +3.
Ooh.
So keep that in mind since you're now 5th level.
I'm sorry, because this isn't where I would be. Sneaking would be a skill.
Yep.
There it is.
Stealth.
Stealth. Cool. Wow. Dang.
Yeah. And you have...
That's a 27.
Yeah, because you have expertise in that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh, wow.
you just...
Finally.
And I'm assuming you dismount and figurine
I've fallen.
you figurine your thing again, and you've probably gotten so proficient at that you can just like tumble roll as it's turning to a figurine. Yeah. So like you're riding and like holding it and you go roll and then disappear.
Autobot sound. I'm like,
Yeah.
No.
it's not.
When are you gonna have you been using that by the way, or is it still just the charger? Oh, you're on the cart.
He's on the card.
Yeah, I'm on the card.
So
I forgot that thing. Yeah.
all right. So you guys. Oh, just by the way, you guys do have new domain spells that you have always prepared.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you have Lesser Restoration and Zone of Truth,
Ah, cool.
which is awesome. And you have
Beacon of Hope.
Beacon of Hope and that other
Revivify.
If we
Revivify.
have something
Oh my
that they-
god.
that
It's
if you have a
expensive
question
spell
for
to
them,
do.
Tell us your actual.
Well, what's the gold piece cost? Does it actually have a gold piece cost?
Diamonds worth 300 gold pieces. Which the
So
spell
you're going to need to
consumes.
actually have those on hand since they have a gold piece value. So that's something to look out for.
Yeah, no.
But Revivify is as long as it's within 10 minutes?
Last minute.
The last minute. So if someone drops to dead, if he can get there within a minute, he can bring you back to life.
What?
Even like fail saves.
All fail. Like that's the whole thing. Like
Oh,
it's
man.
not just a heal. Is if you are dead, if he can get to your body within a minute, he can bring you back to life.
That's
With 1 hit point, so you're still in danger.
It's still the same thing as the
But then-
heal. Yeah.
But if you get brought back to 1 hit point and you're re-killed, is it still saving throws?
It's still saving
So
throws,
yeah,
yeah.
you can keep us alive for an entire
Yeah.
engagement.
So getting
Wow.
him 300 gold pieces worth of diamonds to carry around is like a free
Yeah.
life for
we
somebody.
can trade this card for all that.
No, it's actually like you have two things. Like you have something worth 250
That
gold
robe is worth 250.
Yeah.
It was.
until you wore it. So yeah.
Slightly used magnificent robe.
What happened to the stitching?
Slightly
and
used
Beacon of Hope is
magnificent
pretty
robe.
insane as well, isn't it?
Yeah. What is it?
Not right. Like an equipment
Choose any
sheet for
number of creatures
that.
Oh,
with
you
range
max.
versus each target has advantage on wisdom saving throws and death saving throws and gains the maximum number of hit points possible from any.
Yep. So if he has Beacon of Hope and he names all of you in it,
Yeah.
for how long does it last?
Up to a minute.
So for the next 6 rounds or 10 rounds, if he rolls healing on you, he doesn't roll the dice. You just get the
You
max
just get the
number.
max
That's
healing.
sick enough.
Sweet.
It's so insane.
Let's go to war.
I was like, I don't have no spells. Oh wait, fuck now.
Yeah. So You're looking around this place. You see signs of not just dereliction, but foul play. Out the back, you see the dirt outside the back door has been disturbed, and that there's a bonnet sitting in that disturbed dirt. I'm a pretty princess.
Now roll for
And it looks like it's been disturbed back up into the open doorway. Like it looks like dirt's been pulled back into the open doorway.
I'll at least peer in before I go back. The whole point of me going first is to look.
Message us too.
The fire of the stove has gone out, but the pots on top of the stove have burned. So it looks like they were in the middle of cooking and then left everything unattended. There's utensils just on the ground.
So then I will message back.
Once he's within...
It's like 3,000 miles. 120 feet. Wow, so no, there's no point. I'll just go back.
I mean, 120 feet, you can just wait till he's on the road close enough. But you can, like, head out and
leave the cart. Yeah, so I want to go back a ways and meet them halfway.
Yeah.
I'll message him as soon as I get that way.
Yeah, you go out to the fence, and once you can see him on the road, you send the message.
And I'm like, this is your conscience speaking.
Stop touching yourself.
Your dick is tiny.
It is, God.
It is. How does he know?
Rufus, did you hear that?
Yeah.
Bachman just sent me a weird message.
That's amazing. What did he say?
I'm so exalted. I just give you like foul play, stow the cart, approach with caution, that kind of thing. Only I say it like this.
I say it like this.
I say it like this.
Foul play.
That's more
And you told
Speedy
us
Gonzalez.
that was a message to Sabroth?
Yeah.
Okay.
There is foul play. Put that card on this side of the
So
road.
I'll skinny the information to everybody.
Wow. I thought we were being overcautious. Jeez.
Still in the car.
Just the right amount of caution.
Just the right amount.
How much foul play?
Dereliction. Well, I mean,
How much foul play?
No, I feel like the horses are fresh.
Did you go through the house
I
to
did
the
not
end?
go
You
into
just
it.
you just
no.
peered in the
I
kitchen.
peered in because everyone's close enough anyway. I wanted to tell them to stop
Okay.
the cart and not approach immediately. Like
Yep.
now that everyone's stopped, I can go back and do my thing without
Right.
setting off any traps.
So you're going in.
So I'll let you know. Yes, I'm going back in to look. All right.
No.
No.
I mean, I don't need that detailed. Is the place far enough off the road that we could stow the cart, like in the woods, without it being seen from people on the road?
Yes, you could go to the north of the road
I'm adding money.
and find you're adding.
No,
money?
I'm
No,
just
I'm
kidding.
putting my health back. I'm assuming we've been resting and our health is good.
Yes.
I just looked over and he's like click, click, click,
Yeah.
click, 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 because he's not instead of just clicking this with the window and then just writing it.
I like how you believed you that
Also,
I was doing that.
also, by the way, you guys all have inspiration because you vanquished. It's already on there,
I did
but
have inspiration.
because you vanquished those repeat enemies, those people that were following you, and found information. So, there is a place up north you could go and stow the cart behind a rock off the road. That's on the opposite side of the road from where the inn is.
Maybe gag the prisoners. Or finish them.
She could put an alarm up around it for the interior of it.
I'm just afraid because it's a cart, they could be like, "Ah, fucking help us!" And you're like, "Oh, dang it!" Because I mean, they're bound right now. They're manacled, but you could tie them to the ground if you want to. But if we don't gag them, they're gonna yell. So
Just. All right. Well, let's gag him.
So you gag them, and the Yas is going to take 10 minutes to alarm the area if they exit.
Cool.
So,
Is that going to play on all our heads or just hers?
which way do you want it? She's gonna play it in all your heads. It doesn't matter. Fucking-
I was especially I think it's how I also wants it.
Just Iron Axe. I'm gonna see what he does.
Yeah.
Like
So-
sneaking around.
She's doing that for 10 minutes. Investigating the inn, there's nothing. You don't need to roll. There's no one in there. There's a couple tables or a couple chairs upset out in the front room, and it looks like someone was taking out the front. Something. You don't know how many people, but not. Only a couple chairs have been disturbed, and they're on the way towards the front door. Okay. So you don't think there was too many people in this when whatever happened.
My other question is that you said the fire's out, and it looks like the pot is burned, so it's sat there for a while, but the horses are well.
Yep, and grazing.
So
the food doesn't look. The food looks burnt, but does not look spoiled.
So, a day or two, 6 days, 10 days, 4
day.
days, a day. Okay, so
like less than a day.
So now I'll
there's not even a whole lot of flies in this place.
Right, so now I'll come back to the group and skinny.
Also, if you're looking through the rooms, all of the rooms are made. No one's been staying here, and nothing. All the doors have been opened, but nothing has been disturbed, and the rooms are all turned down. So
I'll return to them. The inn is on me tonight.
It sounds like they might have just run from this place.
There's evidence of disturbance. Fighting, maybe quickly, a surprise attack. I've seen it before.
Well, shall we search around and see if we can find any clues?
I don't see anything here. We might need to go into the village further.
Let's do it.
Heading into the village?
Yeah.
Or we could just ride in.
Yep, you could just ignore it. Doesn't matter.
They've been following.
But it's.
I know. I was like, this is the can't skip side quest group right here.
It's also two good characters. Like people are in distress.
Yeah. And
I need to start tailoring my
also,
like
it really
everything seems fine, but they are not welcoming to Dragonkind.
Yeah. Also, to understand, like you're not beholden to Bahamut in the Dragonborn culture, but you also want to impress him.
No, yeah,
and he loves when people help those less fortunate than them. Yeah. He loves it. That's like his thing.
But also, I'm thinking like, gosh, I mean, they've been finding ways to find us all this throughout this whole thing. Like, there might be something here, and whatever is happening might be because they knew or would figure.
Well, if that's the case, you absolutely should do something because you caused that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Vive la France!
Vive la France!
Vive la France!
It's not coming through. I'm sad.
It's alright.
Did you have a Vive la France?
No, I was trying to put the chat to come up.
Oh, the chat's not popping up?
No, I have a widget for it, and I have to figure out how to get it to work.
Well, let's ride.
What is this? Two ginger.
Yeah. Dayton's hair, though.
I know, right? Yeah. Sexy. Is what I would say if it was sexy.
It looks like she should be in the Chevy hipster commercial.
Looks like he had hair on
JD
top
Power.
of it.
JD Power.
You guys need fucking doors.
That's right.
So you guys are heading into the village?
We're leaving the cart behind.
The
alarm. You've already moved to the...
You've already moved that up to the north of the road. This is south of the road.
Right.
So, how are you guys entering the village?
I was going to say, since it's been foul play again, I'll go around a little bit in first, if that's okay with you.
Mm-hmm. So you're going around buildings and heading in.
Instead of straight up I'm assuming there's a central road that leads
there
down
is
in,
a central
so
path
I'd like to go off of that a little ways. Okay. Not deep into the forest, but just off to the edge of the way. There's
a little bit of open area out here. Like the village is in farmland, so it's the village is an open land, but there are forests close by.
All right, I just want to sneak in a little bit.
So is everyone waiting for him, or is everyone walking up the road while he sneaks ahead and goes in first?
I would like to walk forward. Maybe we can be...
You're the boss. He says as he falls asleep.
What are you doing over there?
I'm looking for your message.
What message?
For things that we talked about.
Things?
Things! Don't worry, I'm not like texting some Phillies and...
Some Phillies. He's talking about Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah. Cass, did you see that display last night?
No, I don't watch football.
What a laugh.
Mitch's voice is greater than Dayton's hair.
It is pretty great. Dayton's hair, I mean. Which makes no
I need to
difference.
work on my radio voice.
Your
Keep
golden
it
pipes.
down low.
Keep it low.
But I just don't have enough. I have to do this voice all the time.
It's the,
So have I told you?
playing D&D.
Have you heard the story from Taylor about crowded places or loud music? My voice is just low enough that it gets lost when there's music playing. And so we'll be talking like blah, 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 blah. And she's like, what? I keep repeating myself. And I found out a couple of weeks ago that if I just raise the octave of my voice, she can hear me clearly. So I'll be like, hey, you want to... It's like, I'm like, hey, you want to get out of here and go to something else? And she's like, what? I'm like, do you want to go somewhere else? And she's like, yeah.
Yeah,
She
like
can hear
that.
it immediately,
Do that.
So I have to change my voice so she can hear me.
Sometimes I have trouble
Yeah.
controlling my,
Yeah, so-
my voice.
So in the club, I gotta act like I have helium in my mouth.
Alright, so he's sneaking up, I'm guessing, on one side or the other. Like,
Yeah.
this is a central path, so there's buildings clearly on each side of
Uh-huh.
whatever side
So-
he's going to. Left side, it looks like.
Hold on,
he's
hold on. Before you make that determination, when looking down the path outside the back of the inn, the monument seems to be on the right side. So, like, there's the central village, like, you're looking down this path to this village of random clusters. That big mound of a whatever it is kind of off to the right. Just a little bit off shot to the right.
What side do you want to go to?
Well, he's going down the middle.
Oh,
He was asking which side.
well then I'll mound it.
So you're going
On
to the right side.
Yes.
I just want it to be like, obviously, we're not going to walk down the very middle of the damn path.
You're just taking the path, but
We'll lean towards the right side because that's where
he's going, so
he
you can
is
back
sort
him
of
up.
looking ahead of
Trying
us.
to separate the party.
He is the rogue. He should be scouting.
No, that,
But-
Oh, I
what
get it,
you're
I get
doing
it.
is
Yeah.
fine. It's
We've
just-
been playing
So-
for like 2 years straight now, and I've always like separate.
Stealth-
Separate.
Stealth check.
I'm just saying, we're not walking like this, like three of us just walking down
Jesus
the
Christ,
side. Oh,
25.
let's see what happens.
Are we not on our steeds anymore? Should we just
No,
like
are you on your steeds?
camp
It's
here?
a pretty small village.
Yeah.
You probably don't need to be on your steeds.
He's sneaking around the right side of whatever buildings he may pass, headed towards this mound, I guess. We are traveling down the damn path, but we're all hovered towards the right side next to the front of buildings and whatnot.
Mhm.
At least, like, kind of looking in them as we go by.
Yeah.
Did you roll a stealth?
Moving up.
Yeah,
What is it?
25.
Okay.
It's all-
So, as you guys are walking into the
Dude, I
village,
roll like a 3 to fail my stuff.
you are seeing definite signs of foul play all around. Almost all the doors are open. Some of them look like they've been forcibly opened, like kicked or broken in some way. In some cases, like windows are like they might have had potted plants in them and those are tousled over. You're also seeing a lot of discarded or lost items, like gloves, hats. You see a couple weapons here and there, like very crude, a pitchfork or a spear. Nearby, there'll be some darkly colored soil or ground, but no bodies. A boot here and there, a child's glove, like mitten or something like that. Just here and there throughout the place. If you look into any of the buildings, it looks like somewhere there was some type of
Oh, the magic treehouse is not following the party.
Magic treehouse.
Magic Treehouse. Hey, thanks for the follow, Magic Treehouse.
Gosh, I almost just want to shout out. Oh,
If
Look for the Drake sign.
yeah, right.
there's nothing big, there's nothing on the ground that's big. There's just scuffle marks here and there. So since you're sneaking and weaving and not stopping too much, just like a quick peer, quick look, you're staying ahead of the group while they're taking more in-depth looks into the buildings and stuff like that. Overturned chairs, food still on the table, things like that. you make it to the central area before anyone else. All right.
It's always great.
Make a perception test.
Test.
Roll a 1.
Roll on, maybe.
Just roll a
as-
1.
As the magical treehouse would say.
18.
Oh,
good.
with the bonuses?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, plus 6, it's 12 plus 6, right?
I was just wondering, you like read that off really fast.
Oh, I'm getting better.
Roll on. All right.
I'm slowly getting better.
Oh.
He's like, I'm used to you being very dumb when you do this.
So the central part of this town, it looks like there's a common area, a little like grassy area that they try to keep clean. There's a stone circle in the middle, and it looks like there's this. I'm probably going into too much detail for something that's a minor thing, but there's actually like a stone insert in the ground where they would put like the maypole, for festivals.
Yeah.
But it's empty right now. There's nothing there. But it's like little park, little stuff like that. But around it are some of the craftsman shop that need very big, very specific things. One of those being the smith. So the smith's hearth and furnace and all of his stuff is there, and it's outside of this building, wooden building, and next to it is a big stone cyclopean. It's just uneven stones stacked up in a huge square mound. Things like 10 foot across.
It's quarry hall.
And 20 foot deep. No, it's a furnace. It's a
Oh,
it's to put they put a whole bunch of wood in it. They light it up. The stone keeps the heat in, and so they can throw in metal and heat it up.
Gotcha.
But it's just a big, huge stone, furnace for the smith, for the potter, for everyone who needs fire and really hot stuff. But it's a big furnace.
Okay.
So it comes up to, it's about 5 foot high.
Wow.
And it goes on for a while. It's like 10 foot across by 10 foot. Like it's a big thing. And there's this big ass man sitting on it.
On top of it?
Yep. Just like I said, he was like 12 feet sitting down on this thing.
I say by big ass man?
Big ass man.
Like a real man?
He looks real.
A stone, okay.
His skin is blue.
Arrow. No, I'm kidding.
So he's wearing fur-lined boots, metal armor, like metal shoulder plates with a chain mail shirt. He's got a big axe coming off the side, huge beard, and a metal cap helmet. And he's just sitting there on this stone furnace, like with his head in his hands like this.
He said he's blue. He doesn't have an ox around him that's blue.
Nope. No.
So can I...
In front of
Are they
him,
close enough to skim me this information too after you're done describing it?
in front of him, there's 2 mounds of something. They look like bodies, but you can't get too much more out of it.
Alright.
And he's just sitting there. They are close enough for you to start pointing and figure out sending a message.
Yeah. So I'm just telling him. There is a large, very large blue man.
A big ass man.
A big ass man. Apparently cold. His skin is so blue. He's sitting on the furnace. He looks giant. But I will not approach him, so if you want to, I can remain here. Or I can approach him.
No, don't.
So I'm hidden in position. I
Oh,
can
that
see.
Rofrus walk up on him.
What? A big ass blue man. You might know what's going on, I'm sure.
We're literally driving our tank. Get in there.
Yeah, I'll approach. I'll even hail out to him.
I'm so about this plan.
All right.
Best plan ever. Let's discontinue any of our search. We found one giant.
So you walk
Fuck
into
it.
the clearing
Yeah.
and hail out.
Yeah.
He like jumps and stands up. Have my people returned? And when he stands up, he is 20 feet tall.
Oh.
And he goes, have my people returned? And he looks down. Oh, you're not my people.
Oh.
I guess I have to kill you.
No,
and
you
he
don't
starts
have to do
pulling
that.
out his axe.
No, wait. We're just passing through. What happened here? Where all the people go?
They got taken.
By you?
No, I protected them. Not very well, I guess.
Wait.
I'm like slowly like.
Uh,
Yeah. I briefly aim at you.
Look at Sapphire. I told him we were passing by and we thought this village was in trouble. It looks like we were right. What were you protecting these people from?
Well, anything, I guess.
I mean, recently. What took your people?
Oh, I guess it was these things. And he kicks the two bodies towards you. They come like on the ground, just flopping and bone snapping and breaking, and they roll in front of you. And there's two completely black-skinned elves laying in front of you.
What happened to their skin?
Sephiroth's like, are they asleep?
Look at these things. These are elves.
They get burned in the
They
furnace.
have white hair, and
Yeah. Gosh, they must have.
I'm sure you
Was
have
it a plague?
heard of drow.
Yeah.
But this is your first time probably ever seeing one.
I think these
You've
must be
seen drow
drow
before. You've probably seen like two in your entire trip.
I'm hiding.
Yeah.
I'm attacked by dark elves. Did they say what they wanted?
I could message that. They appear to be drow dark.
I didn't think to talk to them.
I get
They
that.
were in my town, and my people were gone.
So were you gone when this happened?
I don't stay here. Their beds are way too tiny.
This guy.
Do you know where these people went? Maybe we can help you find your people. They could-
Really?
Well, I think I've heard of these kind of elves.
Oh, you
They-
would do that for me?
Only me.
You're not even here.
Yeah.
Yeah, my lord.
I mean,
This
I
entire
don't
village
have
is in danger.
much money. And he kind of reaches into like a pouch, and he pulls out this little like twined up sack.
How do these bodies look fresh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No,
Everything's happened in the last day or so.
it's not about that. These people are
I
in danger.
messaged. Oh, shut up.
These people are in danger. If these things just took these people, they're in great danger. You should show us where they've been
Yeah.
taken away to.
I don't know.
Ah, well, that's not good.
But they couldn't have gotten far.
I hear they live underground. Are there places underground?
Yeah. To the south. And those rocks over there, they have holes in them.
Deep holes?
I can't get in them.
My lord,
They're too small.
this village is in danger. We should help this poor.
But I found none of my people here, so they must all still exist somewhere, right?
This giant is the perfect,
This is-
perfect wit balance for your
Oh yeah, they're not around. They're not like this. They might be deep enough. My birthday's next year. Hey, we should help this village.
Birthday next year. Absolutely.
Oh man,
I don't understand what's so funny, guys.
I gotta say that every giant encounter I've ever run has been pure fucking gold. It's one of the things I can do right, apparently. You remember the mountain
I
giant?
do.
It's like I have to roll a sneak
I
test
love
and not
giants.
laugh
They're my
off in the
favorite.
distance.
Yeah.
Like,
And my experience in these games, they always seem so reasonable too.
I know. I think they're written.
You're very
for
lucky
you.
because frost giants, if you look in your little common lore bestiary, they're normally pretty evil. Like, they'll just take what they want and kill whenever. Like, they resort to trading only when necessary.
Wow.
So the fact that he comes to this town apparently is unheard of. But you guys don't know that, and that's perfect. That's the whole point of your little Dragonborn trek out into the world.
Alright, I'll do this way out.
Oh yeah, you got this.
The same thing. I'm like, I don't know how to start now. I don't know what to say now.
Take it away, my lord.
What is your name, large man?
To the deep
Oh.
holes.
I am Tarjay the Tiny.
I like it. It drips of irony.
I'm the lowest in the ordering in my tribe.
There's a tribe of you?
Well, how else would we live?
That's a good point. We have a tribe.
I see. There's at least 3 of you.
We call it a clan, but there's more of us. We're not as big as you. You'd be huge in our clan.
Like, he's huge.
I mean, he's huge. He would. He'd be taller than anyone back home.
Welcome, Magic Treehouse.
You came at the right time, Magic Treehouse. If you're still watching, you're in for a real treat with them dealing with this giant.
What was his name?
Tarjay.
The tiny.
Tarjay?
Turjay the Tiny.
Like,
This is like Target?
Yeah, but French.
T-E-R-J-E.
That's what I thought.
Turjay the
When
Tiny.
I said Tarjay, I was like, alright.
I'm
Tarjay.
The
Great
Tiny.
deals back in my tribe. Alright.
Turjay the Tiny.
Tarjay the Tiny.
So, Tarjay, to the best of your knowledge, they maybe would have taken them towards these rocks with holes that are this way to the
Yep.
south.
Up that way.
Which way is that from where I'm at now? Like south of where we were?
Yeah.
So just back the way we came?
Back towards the road.
Can I perceive for tracking? Like persuasion for tracking?
Not
Not
persuasion.
sorry, perception.
It's survival, actually.
Negotiating a path.
Persuasion for
That's
tracking.
not good enough.
It would be
now.
survival or investigation.
Oh my lord, we have that beastry. Maybe there's something about these elves.
I can investigate while I'm not doing anything.
Yep.
So investigate for tracks of that nature.
Yeah, roll for say what he just said to me.
17.
And we'll take out the book.
And luck.
He wants me to look for the elves, but
There is not an entry for drow.
imagine flipping through the whole book, I'd probably come across what
Frost
this guy
giants.
is.
Yes. There's a small entry because they're not considered creatures. They're in like the section on other threats. Tribal nature, evil, kill you, avoid, that kind of stuff.
Is that what this guy is?
A frost giant? Yes.
Blue giant would be cool.
He seems nice. I mean, he almost killed us on the side, but
I guess I gotta kill you. So
Well, he almost attempted.
I have to say, going through the scenarios that could possibly happen in my mind is he would sneak and fail his perception rolls so bad that he would actually think it was a statue and just walk up to see what the 2 bodies were and surprise the giant.
It's the statue, so.
For those who are just joining, it's completely feasible to expect me to fail. All
Right.
so,
So I actually had that scenario like in my mind. But no,
what to do when Mitch rolls a 2?
Yeah.
it was on your perception. Like 2.
Volume
Oh,
3.
there's a big, really lifelike statue of a 20-foot tall man sitting there. Oh, that's weird. And there's 2 lumps in front of him. Oh, go inspect those lumps.
The statue seems animated. It's
Like,
a half
wow.
synopsis.
Those lovely frost giant lumps. You got me. Too late. I already did it. You can't say no after I did it.
No, keep doing it.
I'm not keeping doing it. I got a 17 for my perception. Or my investigation, sorry.
You find How far north are you, or sorry, south are you going?
I mean, I don't want to lead the party too far, but I want to look around the edge of the village, like to see if they were dragged away.
You do see trampled earth and fresher snow, like a big track of obviously a multitude of people that were taken out of this village to the south.
Skinny to Saroth again. It sounds true they have gone south.
All right.
Do you want to come with us to go help your people?
Yeah, I was supposed to protect them,
We can help you do that.
but I can't get in those small holes.
We got a ring of a ram. We can just blow that shit open.
And kill everybody inside.
Oh, that's a good point.
Oh, Rofrost. I'm actually now glad that you do not have the ring.
I'd be way too tempted to use it.
Have we tried exploding everything?
Oh.
All right, so are you going to lead this guy to this tracks he found?
Guess so.
The giant follows you.
Should I stay ahead out of the giant's periphery, or you go ahead and let him know that I'm here? I mean, he's friendly at this point. I'd rather he not be surprised and smashed.
Yeah, he seemed pretty spooked when we called out to
Go
him.
ahead
so-
and we'll tell him.
Well,
Thursday,
I'll meet you at the tracks. And
we have a scout out there, and he's found tracks. We will follow that path and hopefully find your people.
He's a
Oh,
sailor and a wielder.
tracks. Why didn't I think of that?
Hmm.
That's probably why I'm the lowest on the ordering.
Well, you can learn, you know. This is your first time having to deal with an empty village.
I just say he has to roll for persuasion to persuade him that he can learn and not suck.
So as you,
I just remember when
really,
I started out as a private of the clans.
roll to inspire the frost giant.
it's really difficult to move like 100 people without leaving tracks behind. So it is, once you're on the track, you just go. So during the travels, he will tell you that, like, the only reason, like, there's this thing he keeps saying, the ordering, and you kind of get the feeling that he's the lowest on the totem pole in the tribe, and so he found this village, and they all look up to him. So he started being like, "Hey, here I'm highest on the ordering."
Right. Oh.
So he started visiting frequently and just hanging out with the human villagers. And then, like, he'd been gone for a couple days, and he came back, and everyone was gone, and just those two dark-skinned creatures were there, and he stomped them good because he was so angry.
Well, that sounds like the beginning of a very nice story, Tarjay the Tiny. We should find a good ending for this, and I think we will. We just need to get down to where these things are. I can't see in the dark. None of us can,
Nope.
can we? That's dangerous.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. While you're getting there, you still got like 3 hours of daylight left, but you're obviously looking at a cave hole.
Yeah.
It is definitely not big enough for Turget to get into. Just kind of a little crevasse in the rock. Looks like it goes down a little ways, completely natural, nothing out of the ordinary with this hole. But there was a lot of movement outside, like the snow has been completely trampled and broken down and all that stuff. There's a lot of activity that happened out here and then went inside this cave.
Tarjay, I just got an idea. We need to know who to find. Do you know the name of the leader of this place, the elders, or?
Oh yeah, and he starts like a preschooler, like going through and remembering names of people he's met. Like, there's this guy, and he picks flowers, and then there's this guy, and it's just, he can get through about 20 names of villagers.
Cool.
So
it's probably Incon and Swinchel.
Sure, but we can have. I mean, if we just run across a bunch of people, well, I mean, we'll probably scare the dickens out of them looking like us.
I like the name Incon.
what was it?
Incon.
Incon?
Incon and his brother Sensual.
Inconsequential. The only name that seems to be important is Desdry.
Desdry.
Desdry is normally the person that comes out and talks to him and tells him what's been going on in the village since last time he's been there.
What's this village called anyway, Terji?
That's gonna be my next question. He could have a different name for it, but we'll see. We'll see what he says.
The name of the town is literally inconsequential.
Come on, little people, please.
Little people place.
He calls it Little Rock.
Little Rock.
Yeah, that's where my family's from.
Arkansas.
Yep.
Let's go.
All right. So there is a cave entrance ahead of
I'm
you.
guessing this crevice is big enough for us to fit in.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like 8 foot at its highest, kind of triangular shaped, but
Do we have lanterns and stuff?
you have light spells.
Ah.
But yeah, you also have torches.
What you talking about?
Right.
Magic.
Excuse me. All right. So there's a dark crevice ahead of you. There doesn't seem like when you approached it. So, sorry for not making you roll and all that, but there wasn't any guards outside, and there wasn't anything within the first 10, 20 feet of it.
I was gonna say if we can't see in the dark anyway, it doesn't make any sense for me to go first anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I can sneak
I
forward,
said you
but
can sneak and bump into something.
I'll sneak ahead into the darkness. I mean, stay near with your torches, but I can sneak up ahead.
No, at this point it might be better for us to lead with the...
I get a light.
Ayasa, do you have a ring? Do you wear rings?
No, I don't have anything.
I'm not saying
Jewelry?
magical, but I mean, do you actually do you just have any ornamentation?
I have that thing in my face. I'm sure I have a necklace or two on this.
Scale.
Ayasa walks up to you and pulls one of your necklaces off, like one that has a medallion from one of the places you've been.
What about for sorry, what were you saying? Sorry.
So Ayasa walks up, pulls one of your necklaces off of you,
Mm-hmm.
like it has a medallion from one of the ports you've been in, and she clasps it in your hand and casts light on it, and then she just does this, like shows you like you just open it up, like just a little bit of light at the bottom, so you can sneak forward.
I can do that sort of thing with prestidigitation as well, right? No.
Not light, not. It's you can do the little lights.
Oh, it's image. You're right.
Yeah.
Illusion. You can't. Yeah.
You can light stuff, but light is like you're holding. It's like you're holding a torch.
Yeah.
But so you can completely clasp it in your hand, and it's dark. So you can just open up a couple fingers and like look around.
All right. Let's sneak up
kind of
here.
stuff.
That is really cool.
And then someone else should get a bigger light
for
the rest of you on your shield, maybe.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I do want Ralphus in front of me, so I don't want him blocking the light.
So cast it on his.
Do it on my scale. My scale.
Or on a.
Right. Is that where you
You put it on his the head of his
What?
hammer.
Yeah, your skill is
Yeah. I don't want to cry.
That's cool, man.
Because that's what...
Like a teardrop. Like
A little bit. I just like the idea of it being off on one
Yeah,
side.
it's never really sheathed because like you can't like put it away, but it'll be what he's holding out.
Oh, my hammer? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good idea.
So your hammer is now light. You guys can't tell which scale or where Ayasa's scale is because she's gold.
I almost got the
should
locate
have
object
shouldn't-
spell. I could have just like
She
find
hasn't
that
earned any
scale.
stamps yet.
Huh?
She hasn't earned any stamps.
She probably has, but you just
I mean, it would
can't
be-
see the
would be-
one.
Yeah, it was said back in the beginning that you can't really tell where the hell it's at.
Maybe it's on her arm somewhere where it's robed. You don't know.
Maybe she don't have one. She's been fooling us this whole time.
Maybe she eschews the currency of trade. And so she doesn't
Yeah.
care for the.
And
She keeps it on
but
her, but not
she's
wearing
studying with
it.
the humans. Can you imagine that as your next
Yeah,
one?
maybe you're trying to ruin the point where, he's about to kill her off and we're going to have Turge as our new NPC. Just saying.
With Froststrike you have to walk around with.
That'd be awesome. Are you
No
kidding
one
me?
will see us.
Terrible.
What are you talking about?
So
They're
next,
like, fight me now,
come on,
dragon.
You did really well with Brawl in the Dark Sun game.
We really did, but we were abusing the shit out of him, though.
Roll-
We're right
roll
past
forward.
the
Roll forward.
halfway, right before we go into the whole.
All right, so take a break.
Let's take a quick little break.
There's
Okay,
going to be a
grab
quick
drink.
break right now as
After you-
folks. I'm going to try to get the chat thing working.
Sure.
Can someone put ice and vodka in this for me?
Me too.
Thank you.
Just a bartender's got that.
Thanks for watching, everyone. If anyone has any questions, I will be here. You can ask them during this break.
What you doing, buddy? Just standing there?
Yeah. Just, I want some drink. What, man?
Stir or shaker, so the vodka's on the top.
Thank you.
Just the kids,
What's the dealio? Please, give me a seat while I roll this.
The restaurant, that's where they can drink. Now, the voice I was asking about earlier was if you were doing Mac Blake. He's a comedian, but he does a lot of this, like kind of a joke. It's a Russian voice when he talks. Like you like.
I like. Is he the guy who did that Winnie the Pooh rendition? What's going on here? Yeah. Fixing some chats.
Hoping so.
got a bit about Applebee's where it's like Applebee's is a weird place. It's like it looks like what an ex-KGB agent that spent time in America during the 90s would think that people would want in a restaurant. It's like, welcome to Applebee's. We have TV every 5 feet like you like. Look on the wall, it's Dusty Bowling Trophy. It belonged to no one. Here's a signed picture of teen heartthrob Jonathan Taylor Thomas. He was slave to Tim Toolman. It's on popular TV show Home Advancement. It's like try our boneless wings. They're like regular wings, but your capitalism has taken their bones. The first song was a Chrono Trigger song that gave me heavy nostalgia.
I win this round. Bandolier. Yeah.
Is that your first Pirates of the Caribbean?
Yeah. Alright, I guess we're just not gonna.
Nice
I'll
board.
figure it out
Is that
for next
You
time.
figured it out?
specifically the
Nope.
First,
What am I going to learn?
Oh yeah, that would actually be a great idea. Oh, the channel is working.
Is
I
it?
see what's going on now. I
Is it
see.
too low?
Is it all scrolled down?
No, it's disappearing.
Oh, so as people type, it's like showing at the bottom and then going
And then disappearing. Yeah. So, that would actually be a great idea
What's that?
to actually put a summary of what is going on in the current session.
Oh, it's staying now. Or is it just
No,
because he's typed fast
It's because
enough?
he's just typed. It's about to disappear, but I'm going to change that. There we go. It was at 15 seconds. That's why.
Sweet. Oh, look at that. Cool.
So yeah, now we have the chat on the screen.
Sweet.
All right.
We're slowly getting better at this.
So
I checked my
Streamlabs,
sheet earlier
yes,
before I
yes,
rolled too. It's cool.
I am using Streamlabs. I'm still learning. One day I'll make partner, but I'm not looking for it. No, that's a great idea, and I could I should put that. I'll put a little summary like right underneath all the characters of like just a quick what you guys are doing on the way to Neverwinter.
Who's talking to us right now? Is that Magic Tree?
Magic Treehouse is talking to us.
Oh, Magic Tree House.
it's the Magic Tree.
Big fan of that
It's not just
series if
any
you're into
Magic
children's
Treehouse.
books.
I've never read any of those.
They go in this tree house and they like imagine there's some different place in time. It's kind of like what we're doing.
Yeah, it's pretty much this. Like this, the Magic Treehouse.
Yeah. They got giants too. There's a giant. The last one I read at that point.
All right, that's cool.
He wasn't nearly as cool as this giant though.
Yeah, you and Tarjay are best friends now, aren't you?
You laugh at me now. You're gonna thank me when we have a tribe of frost giants on the side of the army against
I
Tiamat.
just love hearing your equal wits battle.
Did
those
you
holes deep.
His brain is really big, so I'll take that as a compliment.
did you want a summary of where they're at right now, or because I can do it?
Or we can always watch it at the end of the episode when you post it.
Yeah, I do. Like the things come up. I also have YouTube below me, which has all our previous episodes. At the beginning of each episode, I do try to do a recap of everything that's going on. It's pretty in depth. They're on this major quest to save their homeland. They're a clan of Dragonborn.
Session 12.
No, this is session 7.
It's
Yeah.
going to be played the one before, that's right.
Yep. So,
Prisoners.
so right now,
Oh, prisoners.
they're all Dragonborn. They're on a quest to save their homeland. They have this piece of what is believed to be raw, like a raw piece of Bahamut's spear, like as it came from the primordial realm to the current realm, and they need to figure out how to forge it into a weapon, which is they believe on their quest is just will help them save their homeland, specifically from Tiamat if she succeeds in being reincarnated into this world.
This is all loose speculation as we're going on.
Yeah.
The random quotings from dreams and
a
books.
diviner, an old diviner,
Kinda
and
got a
so they don't really know. Like they know they're on the right path. They don't know where that path is leading, except for that it should save their homeland.
So despite their zealous endeavor, I'm still a bit skeptical.
Just let us know if they start charging windmills.
Who knows what Ayasa's thinking. So.
They have this piece of what we call platamantium. It's part platinum and part adamantium, or adamantine in the D&D universe.
Super shiny.
And it could be the core of Bahamut's spear, which they're trying to forge back into that spear to kill Tiamat's living avatar. They're going to Neverwinter at the moment to find information about a forge that could possibly work this crazy metal. But on the way, they got sidetracked with tonight's adventure, which happened to include a dumb frost giant and some villagers. So today, this session is kind of just a crazy offshoot adventure and not part of the main storyline.
Plus, we missed a week, so it's kind of good to get back in and kind of break the rust off our knuckles and shake our
We're level
face.
5 now.
And they're level 5. They've just leveled to level 5.
Awesome. I'm so smooth.
So,
All right.
and definitely thanks for watching.
Yeah, cool.
For sure.
Also, thanks to everybody that keeps coming back and sticking through us while we troubleshoot stuff.
Like on the screen. But every time we get something a little bit like cooler, like the banner.
That's what I'm saying. We're
message.
getting slowly better. I checked my character sheet before I rolled earlier, and it was neat.
Yep.
I had the numbers ready before.
And then you rolled
And
and
you
you did
rolled
the math like that.
Yeah.
You rolled it and knew the number immediately.
Like, you
And
didn't look at it
totally threw me
for...
off. No problem. And we're happy to do it with anyone that's in the chat.
God damn it.
We love talking to the chat folk.
Gotta be a teacher.
So thanks for watching. Thanks for following
us
up.
on YouTube.
There'll be a book in front of me. It's like doing karaoke. Teaching elementary
So-
school is like doing karaoke. There's a book, there's a fucking pad, you're good to go.
There is a dark crevasse in front of you. You're heading up first. You're using the light sparingly through your hand. That does mean one of your hands is taken
fine. I
up,
don't
but it
know.
also means if you get into combat, you can just throw that thing back on your neck and you have light.
I can't wear it and hold it.
You can, sure, if you want to do
So
that.
I can,
Right. So,
Whatever's comfortable for you.
whatever. So make a stealth and perception.
both. Or do I have to, it's like one roll, it's a combination.
No, it just
Can we see how far ahead of
22 for stealth.
you want to make sure you can't see him. Otherwise, you're just compromising his stealthing.
Right, so
And 18
because
for
my light's-
investigation.
Yep.
22 and 18.
Perception, not investigation.
So it would
Should
have
be
been
higher.
20.
Six.
Yeah. So what was the stealth?
22.
22. So you head down into this crevasse, and when he kind of disappears outside of your vision, that's when you guys start heading down.
Mhm.
All right. So you're heading down. You put a little bit of light out just to get acclimated to, and you start sneaking. This crevasse, this natural cave, heads down a ways. It's not like it's not a steep incline. It's pretty gradual. Heads around, and then opens up into an irregular shaped room, just lopsided on one side, but a nice little place. Like if you were traveling, you could come into this little area and set camp. Unfortunately, if you were traveling right now, you would run into two drow, because there's two drow sitting in there talking to each other. They look like they're guards, probably supposed to be watching this.
And this is new for me as Dragonborn. There's no lighting here. These guys are sitting in the
They're
dark.
sitting in the absolute pitch blackness. They are deep in enough. Like, that's why no one's up at the cave entrance, because they're drow. They hate daylight. They are down deep enough where there is no light and they have not noticed your tiny encroaching bit of light.
Oh,
Am I
boy.
able to, if I, would I be able to kind of, through memory, like, give me a nice arrow off?
You could,
Would you
but the other thing is,
Well, I'm not gonna do it. I'm just curious about my options.
there's another option, and you know
like,
this.
Sorry, I mean like options with what I can do right now.
Oh yeah.
If I was to put this light away and it's dark, am I sneaky enough?
And they're
stealthy, just
talking.
like, oh yeah, so I can.
So you can try to home in on that.
Gotcha.
The other thing to know is as someone who sailed, you know why pirates wear the patch on their eye? So when they go below and up decks, they have an eye that's attuned to darkness, and they have an eye that's attuned to light. So they switch.
What?
So, yeah.
What? No.
No?
So
Okay.
this was the idea behind eye patches, and not everybody's missing an eye.
Yeah.
You fight on deck, and then when you go below, you switch it over so that you have night vision when you get below.
Oh,
So you're
man.
not walking around going.
So,
For
like,
a few
Man, I
seconds.
just thought scurvy
No.
was just nasty. It attacks your eye and
No,
stuff.
it gets you
Arrows
jaundice and bones.
yeah. So if you're below decks loading cannons and they board your ship, you walk up and you're like, no, like so you keep a patch on, so you're below decks loading cannons. You run up deck, you switch. Now this eye it gets accustomed to the light because it was all like gradually.
Yeah.
It didn't.
Or
Yeah,
vice
something
versa.
like vice
If you're in the
versa,
light,
mainly.
It's vice
But
versa. Light,
it's vice versa. Light go down below.
Dark
you're
vision in one eye.
But you switch it back and forth.
Ah.
Yeah. Anyway, if you were to hold this, get your bow out, or if you were to hold this and get your bow out and like actually pull an arrow out and get it ready, if you shine that light, their dark vision goes away. Their
Is it that bright?
yeah, it would be like if you could get close enough, it would be like just unveiling a torch right on top of people. You would
And that's
completely
attack,
kill
right?
their dark vision if you want. Again, like just unveiling that, you have a stealth roll that they've obviously not hit, so you can start moving up. Unveil it, pull out your thing, and use your cunning action for movement, and attack both of them.
Sounds risky. How far behind me is everybody? They've got light.
They've got light.
Fuck 'em. Yeah, let's do this then. I'm sneaking up. We already know these guys are nasty.
All right, so you're gonna.
Sorry.
I want to know if I want to get close
Yeah.
enough to. I have 2 blades, right? Can't
Yep.
I put this thing away. So while I've got the blades in my hands, I can ding ding and like get it out,
You can like
flash them.
yeah, you can hold it in your hand, get up into position, and then just go.
Right.
Like hit this one, cutting action to dash to the other one.
Let's try these new things out. Plus, I want to see. I'm not super sure with the double attack again, so let's give it a shot.
Are you doing anything to the daggers?
No.
I mean,
Blah, blah, blah.
you know what? Like that will start going towards your charges of how many times
That's
you can
totally
use
fine,
it,
Yeah.
and you don't know how many drow are down here. But
Then
do you want to
no,
be
no,
sure?
I've got him on the sneak right now. Let's just go ahead and do it.
What we're talking about is he has these brand new magic items that I made up, and I'm very worried about because I've made magic items in the past that have bit me in the ass. But they're infused short swords, or short swords of infusing. Anything that they're quenched or submerged or coated in, they take that effect and can, on their next attack, can transfer it.
It's particularly fun for us because we all have breath weapons.
So-
I can spit acid onto him, or I can hold him in front of his ice breath or in front of his fire breath, that kind of thing.
She has fire breath.
Whatever.
He is cold. Anyway,
I keep
but
forgetting
it
he's
also
a-
works, besides just doing elemental, which is just a straight additional d6 and the elemental
Just remember that
keyword,
when you're almost dead.
he can put anything on them. He can put a potion of invisibility and hit someone and they disappear. Or a potion of etherealness and hit someone and they turn ethereal.
Or I can put a potion of wounding on him and they add additional damage.
Well, let's
All right, but so you're not doing that.
I'm not doing that this time because you're right, and I've got the drop on him. So
All right. So,
I need to
yep,
sneak
you
again.
absolutely got them by surprise with your cutting action and your bonus action to do the 2 attacks. You have got everything covered, and you can make an attack against each of them.
all right, so this is action.
And
So the first. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say earlier. Obviously, we'd be a bit far behind you.
Yes.
It's okay.
We don't want to.
I'm blinding them essentially right now.
What's the
anyways.
range of a torch?
like 10 feet. Really?
It's more than that.
No, I think it's 60, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
Oh.
Oh, like
It's 60 bright light and 120 dim light, I think.
Mm.
Oh, hang on.
so you know what the light spell does? 'Cause, right?
Yeah,
I
what
think
is
I
it?
have one in here.
Bright light in a 20-foot radius and dim light for an additional 20 feet.
So
20-foot radius.
20 and 40.
Yeah, so 20
So
40.
these
Sorry.
guys are at least 40 feet behind you because
'Cause we don't
your
want-
dim light is not even
That's
touching
The
them.
point of you sneaking is so you could warn us.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
totally.
And
And
so
I'm
we
gonna
want to
warn-
be like right behind you, like,
I'm going to warn you with
Okay.
the sounds of battle.
oh hey, we have bright light. Don't worry, there's
So
definitely no one.
what we were saying earlier, just so I get it correct, I'm going to be attacking this. Obviously, my hit dice +8 does its damage, but then on the second one, I don't get the bonus.
You do
To
not
the
get.
hit.
Yeah, so the first one is the D6. Was it short swords D6, right?
D6 +5,
Yeah.
yes.
So
Oh,
D6 plus 5.
the
So
second
the
one's just
second one's
D6.
just D6.
Gotcha.
But there's sneak attacks both.
Plus
so
2d6 on
plus
each.
the 2d6 on each.
Beautiful.
Okay.
So the first one's 20 to hit.
Yeah.
And do I need to attack the other one now or do
Yes.
damage for
Just
okay.
go ahead and attack both.
That would be 11.
Total?
That does not hit.
Yeah. I'm going to spend my inspiration.
Okay.
Just reroll.
I allow my people to spend inspiration after the roll to do a reroll. I'm lenient like that.
Make it a 26 then.
That'll
to
hit.
strike. First
So
damage.
first 3d6 plus
Oh, it's 1d6 plus 5 plus
1d6
2d6.
plus 2d6. Yeah. So 3d6
So
plus.
it is 18
All
for
right.
the first strike.
And roll the second one.
It would be 13.
All right.
18 and 13.
So you're like, you're holding that and you're moving up. And you hear him talking. You're kind of wedged in because there's a little bit of a curve. And you're like, drop that. And they're like, in mid sentence, like, wait, what? And then you pull the blade out of your scabbard, across the neck of that one. His conversation stops. And then this guy is like blinking, going back like this. And you just lunge over. And that curved blade just goes the opposite slice. Like you hit with the curved edge and it slides down. And they just both stagger against the wall. And then slide silently to the ground. And
Ah,
Did y'all see? Oh, nobody saw that.
nobody saw it. Nobody will see
you see
your
that,
tail.
you see that
going.
Misar? And then you can cover back up your...
See the Misar. It's the low capture.
both of them
Double
fall
kill.
dead.
Yeah. So
And
man, you
also
should
remember you can
drop
also
those,
message
dude.
back about what you're seeing so you can keep
now that
forward.
they're dead, I mean, is there one entrance, multiple entrances?
So, from here, there is one wider exit from this room. So it's an oblong, irregular shaped room, but all of it seems to be an exit, and it actually seems to part. So it looks like one part of it keeps on this level, and another part starts going deeper.
I'll
So you can
skinny
stay
that.
up on a ledge, or you can go deeper.
So I'll skinny that. I've taken out 2. The path splits up or down.
And the path that's up is over the path that's down.
What he said.
So it's not like it's two different paths, like up and down.
Also that.
It's a ledge over top of a lower.
And some of that stuff.
Hey. Easy now. I'm getting to a new page.
Ooh.
Congratulations.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Well, my best guess would be that the path down would be the way that they probably hold these people.
Perhaps I will also arm the top. Or stay behind me as I go deeper. Giggity.
What was the first suggestion there?
I guess
Arm the top one if we're going to continue down.
alarm.
Alarm the top one.
I mean,
That's a
wasn't
bad
that
idea.
what she does? She brings
Alarms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you said arm.
Oh,
she-
no, like...
Can she
She's
do
like
that
set-
with alarm
set
on those
charges.
prisoners?
She can't have two alarms up.
Oh, all right. Well, then, oof. So it wouldn't be. It's a risk, but I will do it. Maybe let me go a
Oh
ways.
crap! So before you guys started heading down,
No.
I should say, Turge says, if you bring them out here, I'll smash them.
Oh, that's useful.
That's good to know.
He pulls
Also,
out
I'm
his axe.
sure we would have had some. This should have happened right before we took the break. I'm pretty sure. This stuff.
Which stuff?
They're
The
talking
talk
about
with
target
Tur-
church.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of thrown off a little bit.
Because we also would have told him, well, just stay here and watch the
Well,
entrance.
he can't go in. Anymore.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm just, don't walk back to town now.
That's a good point.
Don't just wander away. We need you.
Stay with Robert.
All right.
Well, nice work with these. Gosh, they must be really huge.
Well, I'm messaging that. You're not even in yet.
Oh, I
Yeah.
thought I told you.
So you message back, and what is your response? Is he supposed to go down or stay up? And I can't stress enough that the upper path
Goes
looks over the lower path.
Well, then I'll do that. Then I wouldn't even skinny back that I'm going down. I would just say, hey, the paths cover each other. I'm going over the top.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stay back. Don't give me away.
I mean, what you said before is true. They're probably, most of them are on the lower one, which also means that taking the higher one is probably advantageous.
I can't hear you this. I'm just playing with my hand.
Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so you're heading along the top route.
I'll take the top.
Okay. So you start heading down that route. You're keeping a look down. It's pretty cramped as the top of the cave curls over on your side, and you're on this ledge, and the path below you kind of opens up to a more. It's still a specific pathway, but it's not like a corridor. It's a pretty wide open tunnel. And this part just kind of curls over top as this part goes underneath. And it follows for a while. It follows long enough that you guys get to the room and you see the two dead drow.
As I imagine he would have told us about them too.
Yes, he told you that he slayed two. That was the first thing he said.
What happened to these guys?
Yeah, he doesn't know. I just keep talking to
Yeah,
you.
I got
Are you skinning?
Yeah,
You're
it's
skinning.
fine.
So,
He just does
you know
He's
that
like,
they.
I took care of them with my
Because I would have
mind.
told Rolfers, please don't trip over the two bodies that we're going to pass.
Well, we might want to hide them if it's a possibility we're going to lead more into the path of.
Yeah, but if they're going to be leading, they're going to be chasing us out.
That's a good point.
By that time, they already know that they've been attacked.
Yeah.
You think? Maybe.
They'll stop and be like, Marcus, no!
Yeah.
One of the drow's names is Marcus.
Apparently. They are armed with a sword, a dagger. It looks like a parrying dagger,
You can both.
a main gouge, which are designed to lock up blades and get them out of your hands. Like
Oh, cool.
Size butterfly knife.
that. Not butterfly knives.
Well, that's what the American word for butterfly knife is the actual butterfly knife.
Oh, yes. Those
like a-
five wide flat
Some
with the
call them
hook out.
wakas too.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a whole thing like
The butterfly swords.
That's butterfly sword.
Yep.
Waka, I think is what it's called.
I thought these things
Main
were supposed to be
gouge.
terrifying
And
fierce in battle.
a crossbow. Each of them have a weird-looking crossbow with a box on top of them and a handle coming out the back.
Cool.
Oh, I should have grabbed one of those. Too late now. Anyway.
I like
That's
one
right.
thing.
I didn't research at all.
No,
I
and
pressed on,
that's
yeah.
what like I want to mention that now.
Yep. No, I
Enemy
know.
assessment is something you should always be looking for.
I know. I pressed on. I knew it as I walked away too. I was like, I
Stopped
schemed.
on
We
a nice
moved on.
little
Like,
choco
son of a
move.
bitch. I
Don't
was-
worry, I'll take them.
You don't have to take them. You can get them later. Hopefully, you can get them later.
Put one in the sack.
No, that's not right.
Oh. I'm sorry, I never fired a Chinese choco.
Do you know how they work? They're amazing.
I
It's a handle that's attached to a. So there's a box, and there's like a slit down the sides, and just a flat piece of wood, and the handle is attached to it out the back. So the arrows are stacked up, and one's sitting in the crossbow, but there's also hooks on the side of that. So when the bow is fired and that first one goes, when you pull this one back, it pulls the string back. It also slides that piece of wood back, and the next arrow drops down, and then you slide it forward. So you
Simple
go,
automatic crossbow.
That's sick.
it's pretty cool technology for primitive weaponry.
No.
So, you're up ahead. You guys have just seen this. Is there anything you're doing with the bodies or in that room?
That's not sexy.
And it's you know that he's, if you're not hearing a message from him, he's moving, and you don't want to get too far behind him.
The only thing I'm concerned about is the weapons. Gather them up and just put them against the wall in a spot that...
Put them in your sack. We can keep holding them.
You can just...
We can just throw them away later, yeah. I mean, 40 swords is 500 pounds.
Just 2 swords, 2 Mangouches, and 2 Chukonu, the auto crossbows, or semi-auto crossbows.
60, 70 pounds.
Yeah.
Max, yeah.
Bodies, otherwise, just have them...
Put them in the sack.
The second thing is, which way are you guys going?
Well, they're on the ground, so obviously down's the way.
So, I mean, if you have him monitoring up top, that's fantastic, and he can kind of guide you. But if that path goes somewhere completely different, then you guys are completely screwed.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
And that's what he wants. You can see it in his face. He wants to split the party. Guess what this guy wants too. Totally split that party.
Let's go down.
I like that in the very beginning. So, those of us just watching, Dane and I have only been playing for like a year or so. These guys are experts. They've been playing forever. And in the first couple of games, we found out pretty quickly. We actually had like a couple sessions where they were individual sessions because we had split the party so deeply that we had to have a session where these guys talked for a while. This was like in our first Rift game. These guys. And when we got back together, I was like, that was harrowing. And he says, you should never split the party. I fucking split it in every single game. Not on purpose, but because those options seem available. So he's gotten good enough now at being like, we're just going to split the party. So these options keep appearing for us to split. And I'm always like, ooh, well, fuck it. It's too late now. I can't play it. Let's do it. So
piece of candy.
Yeah, so now I've followed the piece of candy into a separate...
overlooks us. You can...
It's true.
Right now, he's like, it's the perfect overlook.
We've only all died once.
But
So.
we should get a look.
Can he use his light to like look down and actually look ahead?
It has the same properties as a torch as well, so I can 20 feet.
So he can, and as long as he keeps just a little bit of light out and adjusts his dark vision, so far it hasn't split far enough that he can't see
like
that
imagine
path
if I held
down.
a whole torch here, but I did this, it would be a firefly. So I could like draw on the floor and see where I'm going.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm doing right now, is searching around. But if I open it up, it'll be a torch from above. So as long as you guys are within 40 feet, it's dim. It'll be dim light below you, up to 4 stories.
I also have a giant glowing hammer right now.
He also has a giant glowing hammer, so you don't have to worry about that.
Well, yeah, the point is, wherever we go, we're going to be seen.
They aren't stealthy. They're
Also,
not hiding their
if
light.
you guys are below and you're illuminating everything, I can just put that shit away and just... We can do it like that.
And that's if you're not running into people up top.
And the thing is, if you go down, you want him taking out the people up top before you get there, because they just rain death down on you and be an almost complete cover from you. But you can also follow him up top. Like, that is another option. But you know that these people are most likely going down.
Yeah, that's where the people are. The people we need to save. My lord.
Well, let's go down, but we're going to go down very slowly.
Okay.
Like,
Just making sure to keep behind him.
obnoxiously slowly.
All right.
So
Yes, my lord.
that he
So
can
you're
get...
going down.
Yeah.
So he can get all he can up top, whatever knowledge we need.
No, that's
And
very
if,
wise.
and if he does run into people,
What
and
was
becomes
your
a
original stealth check?
shit show.
The original one or my
Oh.
last one?
No, you went into combat. I need a new one.
The last one I made... post combat. I haven't done post combat.
Because you came out of stealth to do that. Now you're re-stealthing to go up the top. Sure.
It'd be 17.
Oh, it's going to get interesting.
So you're making your way down, like across that, up the thing. This goes down, kind of opens up. You see it keep going, and then like you're trying to see like up ahead, and like keep an eye on down, keep an eye on ahead, keep an eye on down.
Mind me.
I know.
Yeah, like
yeah.
Mitch.
So you're like keep an eye on down, keep an eye on down, And like you look up and
You receive the black slap.
You find
Get the black slap.
Does an 18 hit you?
What do you think a fucking 18 hits?
I
don't know.
You have a
actually.
high dexterity.
I
I don't
do.
know.
God damn it.
I think AC.
No, 18. Oh my, it is 18.
So yes, it does. Hit.
AC's 18.
Yeah, Dex
Armor
like
No,
it's
15.
dexterity.
Sorry, yes,
15.
sorry, yes.
I mean, rogues can get some ridiculous armor
can.
class.
I'm getting there. Yeah,
15, really?
15. Yeah,
That seems low.
I feel like he's
wearing leather.
forever.
You're wearing leather.
What is the
I mean, it
dexterity?
says armor is
Armor
15
class?
right
He's
here.
got leather puts you at 11. He's got a +4 dex.
11. Yeah, you need to get some like silenced chain or elven chain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
Well,
worry,
that's
you're a
good.
rogue.
You're fine.
You're gonna steal this stuff, and we're not gonna know about it because we're good guys. And you're gonna be set. You are a
Alright.
good guy.
Xernax is not a bad guy.
You take
should totally
4
steal some
damage.
stuff.
You cannot use your reaction because it was a surprise attack
That's fine.
to have it. And now you need to make a Constitution saving
Of
throw.
course, because they're drow.
All right, so
You find an arrow in your chest.
Constitution, I find that in
Saving throws should be
Yeah,
next to your
first stage.
stats. Yeah, your main page.
Constitution. Oh, +0, great. 1.
Oh, wow.
Oh no!
Yes.
Welcome to playing D&D with Mitch.
Ooh, okay.
So
I'm like,
suddenly regretting going different ways now.
All right. Okay.
you go blind.
Remember how
I
cool
mean-
it was earlier though when you made those sneak attacks?
No, I mean, I rolled a 27 for sneak.
Hey,
earlier,
that was dope at least.
We'll remember that. We'll mention that in a eulogy.
Good thing I used my inspiration earlier.
Alright.
Oh, I can't roll inspiration for natural ones anyway. That's right. We'll see you next week when Wiley comes up with my punishment. Some sort of roll for the effect. Huh?
Oh no, that's gonna be bad. Oh, freaking drow. Whose idea was it to go in here?
So I'm going to give you,
I was like,
without discussing, with no one else making any comments,
all right.
I'm going to give you an option. I just want you to say whatever you want, which way you want. You're falling unconscious. Do you want to fall off of the ledge or stay on the ledge?
Off.
Okay.
Roll away as an escape.
You take 5 more damage and hit the ground. You don't know this, you're unconscious.
That's fine.
You just get hit by something, you're like, ah!
I'm super sneaky.
And then fall down. So you guys are making your way cautiously forward.
You don't even see me fall. I'm just like,
Nope.
You just come across me. Hey.
Make a perception check.
They kidnapped
Okay.
a Dragonborn.
Both y'all.
I wish I had a shield
So
of seeing.
I am guessing the order is Rofaros, Savroth, Iyasa.
Yeah.
This place does get wide enough. If you do want to go 2 abreast or all 3 of you in a line, you can. Iyasa does not want to do
I
that.
was like, the most we would do is me, him abreast,
Up front,
and then
and
And then
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
so
fine,
behind us. Let's do that.
The old D4. Yeah.
Oh. This hammer is actually really bright in my face.
It's right there.
Keep
It's
doing
right
this.
there.
Yeah. Don't see shit. What's wrong with you guys? Look around a little bit.
Did you hear something? Nah.
I got a 13.
Total party perception fail right now.
Yasa?
I don't
Nope,
know. I
she
don't
got
think I've
a-
rolled this whole session. This is my first roll.
Good roll.
She got
Should have rolled 1 or 2 like fuck ups before he did it.
Here's what we're
She
being
got a
captured by
16.
drow.
So what'd you get?
13.
And you got
Not good. Like 5.
5. All right.
You all tripped over this body.
Hold on. I got a 6.
Breaking his neck. Your sword impales his chest.
So as you're slowly heading down this path, it starts to widen and open up. You see a form on the ground,
Small motes
like
of dust,
a
right?
mound, and there's light emitting out the back of it.
The hell is that?
God damn it.
I'll investigate it. I'm like, I was like, oh, hold on. No.
And you start to move up. So as you move up, it becomes clear that this is Xeranex. Have you not seen her stretch? She does the seesaw. It's really cool.
It looks like she's actually chasing her tail. I've seen her do that. That's what I was.
So if she when she stretches, we're talking about my dog, which is off screen over here. She stretches like back her hind legs, and then she'll go the other way, like or down and
She
back.
does yoga.
Yeah, she does yoga poses. Right, Bandy?
Oh.
Yeah, right, Bandy. So yes, it is obvious that it is Rofrost. He's on the ground, and he is not. Sorry, Xeranex. Rofrost, fine. It's obvious to Rofrost that it's Xeranex.
Obviously, Rofrost finds Xeranex.
It is Rofrost. To Rofrost is obviously Xeranex.
Yeah, I go, Xeranex! And I hurry over to him.
Yeah, you would yell.
Yeah.
Yep, Argo Bargo.
Xeranex!
Who has done this to you?
Alright.
I mean, pretty much.
This is like a worst case scenario. Like, this is what we were trying to avoid by me going up.
Yeah.
Now we're on the ground and you've alerted everyone.
You wake up. You feel terrible.
He's taking 9 damage total? Right?
He's taking 9 damage total, but he's also poisoned. You're poisoned for 1 hour.
What?
Unless someone with aid uses that against... Or not aid, lesser restoration.
I was like...
Lesser restoration.
I'd probably say that.
A poisoned creature has disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks.
Great.
You're going to have that for 1 hour.
Wow.
Unless someone with lesser restoration casts that on them.
He's alive, though.
Yeah.
That's great.
Right.
I immediately get my back to the wall. What happened?
They're above us.
Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
I motion to get your backs to the wall.
I tried to put my light away again.
Yep, you put your light away.
They're bright enough.
We're going to shimmy out of here.
I try not to barf acid on myself.
Do you pull the crossbow bolt out of you?
If it's there, no. I snap it like a man.
Okay. You can feel that pain is coming from the wound.
Yeah, there's pain coming from my wound.
And it's not like... It's more than just the tissue damage.
Oh, I fucked up.
You feel poisoned.
Like, would we know he's
sapping
poisoned at this point? Like, would
I said I feel poisoned.
Yeah. It's obvious when he tries to get up and all that stuff. He can mention that he thinks he's poisoned.
Well, absolutely. I was like,
My scales
be
have gone
strong,
bad.
brother. Purge this evil out of you.
All right. So you're no longer poisoned.
I'm no longer poisoned.
He,
I touched you, not just a bicep.
Savroth lays his hand upon you.
Bicep.
You feel a cleansing of your body flow through you. And the poisoned condition is cleared.
And I laid on hands.
For all of his hit points?
For whatever he's missing, sure, yeah.
Yeah,
How much, so he knows how much to take off
I
the
need to
blade?
do a total of 25.
Oh, yeah, I'm good. Oops, I was
How
wrong.
much?
Yeah, I need to know.
Oh, I was missing 9, so...
Okay.
9, okay.
So,
Sorry, I misunderstood, sorry.
because he has a pool of hit points he can heal, so he needs to know how much he's used.
Yeah, so I'm back to good.
Like, and you can like pull that out as he's laying on his hands and
I have the urge to go back up to the top and settle this shit.
Oh, yeah. That's my lay on hands. It's me like, oh, shit, there's an arrow in you.
And you put your hand over there to stop the bleeding. All right, so you're now in the middle of this large cavern. You know that there's an overhang looking over you, but everything is eerily quiet in here. Nothing like no alarms or craziness. You don't hear yelling. You don't hear like it is eerily quiet for what just happened to him. Someone has to know.
Yeah.
They are there. They know we are here. They're above us. They're below us.
We should get to higher ground.
You can go back and...
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying. It's like, let's keep our
can
backs to
travel
the wall,
back up,
keep
yeah.
your eyes up and out, And we're going to shimmy back, we'll go around, and we're going to crush their skulls.
We could retreat, but I mean, I'm assuming this is a narrow one person at a time thing up top,
No,
right?
up top, it's one person at a time, hunched over for the big guys in armor.
Oh boy!
Yeah. Because they're so the ledge, the wall of it curves over like this. So like you have to crouch going down it.
It's a narrow ledge. Why don't you crush it with a ring?
There you go. It's good.
See?
He really just wants to.
We are in a cave.
No.
It would be
Do you
impossible to.
I'm just saying that.
Now you're pointing down the corridor.
Again, no.
Whoever it hits.
It only goes for 60 feet.
Does nobody listen to Cyrenax when he says, "Do not blow the cave up while we are in the cave"?
Oh, I
So-
wouldn't be trying to blow the cave. I'd be hitting
What
the dude.
is the plan? Keep going below, or do you go back and head up top?
If we can't all fit up there, we shouldn't go up there all together.
I mean, you can all fit in a line, just like you were in any other D&D hallway.
I could lay back down and you could retreat. I could play dead as bait.
Oh, that's a good idea.
This would be a cool time, I just gotta say, because like normally arcane tricksters can only take illusion and enchantment spells, but I loosened that for you. Like if you had minor illusion, you could make the illusion of yourself laying there, and everyone could back up
I don't have that.
and hide.
Fuck, you know what I should have done? I should have. Oh, I got hit before I got to do anything. I'm like, I could have greased the ledge.
Yeah, but, yeah.
It's too late.
So, what's the plan? What are you guys doing? Let's move this forward.
Ah, jeez. Let's get them on the ledge. They're just going to be shooting at us as we go deeper.
Unless they have already retreated farther along.
Well, we'll find out.
So you heading back to the ledge?
I think we should head back up to the ledge.
All right.
Yeah.
At this point, we know there's somebody up there, and they know that at least somebody is here.
Do you want me to sneak back up ahead?
No,
or
I will take point.
Okay, you're taking point this
I
time.
was like, yeah, let's.
So
I mean, if you're gonna be up there lit, I can stay down and shoot from both.
I was like, if you're just
it's a
gonna-
bad,
I know. I'm just
bad
joking.
position.
I'm totally
I mean,
joking.
it's just a bad position, but
I
you
know.
can climb better than everyone else. It's a bad place all around to be down there.
Stupid one.
As one of my friends said constantly, because he really loved the military combat theory, like operators and stuff like that. But down is for the dying. If you're down, anyone above you has advantage.
Mm-hmm.
You are just dead. Like,
Yeah.
We've all seen the end of episode 3.
Can't defeat me. I have the higher ground. Yeah.
all right, so you retreat back to that first entrance room.
Go right back up there.
And now you are ahead,
Yeah.
forging ahead with your hammer.
Yeah.
Who is second? Xeranex, and then Savroth, and then Iyasa.
Well, they might come up behind Yasa.
That's if it's okay with Sabra. He is the boss still.
You can switch if you want.
I just start
That's
checking.
too weird. Like, if we could attack from behind, not having an armored person.
Remember, she can levitate, so she can just like take herself off that ledge.
Oh, you have to crouch?
Copper slapped this shit.
You guys will have to stoop. Yeah.
So maybe I should go first.
It's still, no matter how much you say it, it's still not the consensus.
Or a good
Or the good idea.
Yeah, we'll do literally this order.
Okay.
Alright.
All right. So
Okay.
you head back up. And you start.
Watch
So-
your rear, Yasa.
As you're getting up there, well outside of your range, as you're going along. This is sometime. What?
I'm sorry, just Shield of Faith.
Okay. Yep. If anyone's casting any preparatory spells, since the jig is up, Iyasa just put her mage armor on, so now she is scintillating with her nearly what's it called? Stained glass armor.
I cast massage again. Oh,
Like, just get this shoulder. Like, can you get a little
We would have no idea what kind of creatures drow are, right?
humanoid? They're elves.
Crush them. javelins into the darkness.
I attack the darkness.
If there's girls there.
I want to do
I'm kind of doing like this, trying to keep my face from being a simple target.
I'm so excited
put
to
the
see someone
hammer
else
and have it.
see
Yeah, there we go. So you're gonna crouch anyway.
Can an individual have 2 shields of faith on them?
Nope.
Okay.
Spells do not stack.
I say, just make sure whatever tries to hit you can't hit you.
Shield faith, shield faith.
Sweet.
You can shield of faith
Wow,
yourself.
I think I might actually. Alright. So, because I actually changed it out. I have detect magic now.
Okay.
Is that just like castle in one spot? Or like as I walk, is it with me?
It's.
I
think either it comes from you or an object cast, and it stays at a 30-foot radius. You can
What's the duration?
move around.
The duration is up to 10 minutes.
And what's the casting time?
One action.
One action.
Okay. So for up to 10
30
minutes,
feet of you, yeah.
within 30 feet of you, you will sense magic.
So you'll sense his light on his.
The 2 lights, spells, the shield of faith, the mage armor, but outside of 30 feet, you'd sense other magic. 30 feet isn't great. It'd be much better for an investigation period.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck it. Here we go. I don't have anything more to do.
Nothing? Or shield of faith on yourself?
I'll give Shield of Faith to Zeranax, actually.
Oh.
Mm.
You now have his platinum shield upon you. Alright, so you guys are heading down this.
Blocking your view.
You're going. Can't really sneak too much with it, but
Yeah.
we're past the point of sneaking apparently.
All right.
Alright.
going
I
on?
thought I'm like.
Yeah.
15 and 20, what hits you?
The 20.
Okay.
That's the higher number.
What's your armor class?
18 right
18,
now.
yeah. 6
60
damage.
6?
Yep, and a constitution saving throw, which I believe is a proficiency.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Did
using
he,
D&D
did he get the
Wileyverse.
black slap as well?
No.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
All right.
Are
Constitution
drows
save.
not black or like?
Fire your poisons. Ooh, that's not good.
That inspiration.
7.
What's yours?
7 plus.
7 plus 4 for 11. I'm gonna use my inspiration. I ain't gonna fall asleep.
Alright.
Yes!
That's better. Plus 4, that's 17.
Okay, so you hit it and you feel the effects trying to seep into you, but you're like, "Arr!" and it fades.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Going faster.
And you're
I'm
on
assuming
faster.
that face was a quick jump.
So,
You're like,
It was.
now we roll initiative.
Okay.
I would think.
Oh, jeez. I'm in
Generally,
front of
Wileyverse
everybody.
will be attacking kind of first because it's in front of all us.
Well, he's the only one that can make melee attacks if there's someone to attack until you get to open ground.
Just when I'm on the middle of the pack. Maybe.
We'll see what Ayasa does. This better not be a single drow given this bullshit.
Those 2 people you killed, they were illusions. Fools. I stole this whole village.
Roll for us.
6!
Xeranex,
17.
Savroth.
11.
Of course, you're in the front. You're holding up to everybody.
This is a slowing poison. Oh.
Can I shoot over his shoulder? Can I, like...
You can, but you can't see what's attacking.
But isn't the space fairly narrow? It's like a
Your
little
space is fairly narrow, but those arrows came from outside somewhere. Like they didn't seem to come from up, but you don't know exactly
Come
where they
here
came
often.
from.
Damn it.
One hit the wall behind you.
Can I sleep that area?
you can guess where it came from and try to shoot asleep.
Sleep the darkness again.
It worked last time.
Hey,
That shit has worked before.
It's a great spell.
You're not going first.
I'm not. 17's not first.
But
No.
they
19's first, and 19 is the Yasa and the Drow.
Well, at least they'll give me a better striking point when they shoot you
I
again.
wouldn't try it, man. I don't know.
I'll gauge from there. Can I percept their arrows as they come in? Like it seems like it came from over there. Do this.
Did we learn anything about elves in that book?
No, there was no
No,
entry
there
for
was
the
No,
Drow.
there was no
on
info.
Okay. All right.
We know that they're humanoid and dark-skinned,
Hmm.
and that they have sleepy stuff on their weapons. And we found that out from getting shot with sleepy stuff in their weapons.
Yasa's holding her action. She's got nothing
It's fine.
to work with. 2 more arrows coming on you.
Yep, come on.
Make a perception.
You can actually do that.
18, 16. So
Another one hits me.
8.
Nope.
Yeah, it's too dark in here,
3 damage.
and I'm not used to
But
that.
you got to make the save.
Yep. Come on. Why are we rolling so bad now? Come on!
It's dark in here.
Yeah! That's a lot. What is it? 19.
Okay, you're fine. Fighting off the poison again.
Like, I knew this stuff would make me feel good.
What was your perception?
8.
Yeah, you just.
Yeah.
They're like, these things are coming out of the darkness.
That's what I said.
Like
It's
just
too fucking dark in here.
Yep. So on 17, what do you want to do? You can hold until you can see a target, if you want.
I wish this necklace didn't have such value. Can I throw my necklace as
Yeah.
light? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why not?
Let's do that. Do
Just
I
hope you can retrieve it.
need to throw in?
Like how hard are you throwing this? Are you just trying to throw as far as you can?
Just smash it against the wall.
No, it's fine. Like I need to know. Like
I mean,
you don't know like
Yeah.
how
I
far
can't-
this
yeah, I know I
goes.
couldn't perceive
Yeah,
any of
yeah,
that
you
bullshit.
have no basis
Throw is not a skill.
No, it's not. Just tell me.
Acrobatics, Yeah, so
Like-
I mean, I'll give it a good 20, 30 feet. No, I mean 40, 60. Sorry, somewhere around there.
Okay, so
'Cause
you're
beyond our
you're
light,
just
right outside of our light.
like, are you hucking as far as you can go?
Yeah.
Because if it hits a wall, it hits a wall.
I huck it
But
as hard
if
as I
it
can. No, it
okay.
makes sense to.
so make a 2, and you're throwing it on your level, or are you throwing it down?
No, about where we're at, where the arrows
So-
seem. Yeah, just
So straight forward.
Yep.
All right, go for it. Just a 2-hit. You're proficient in throwing, so it's as if you were like shooting your bow.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Except without the magical +1 from your bow.
Correct.
So +7. 27.
Yeah. So you're like, ha! And you throw it straight.
Did you roll a natural 20
Yeah,
for
it was
that
natural,
throw?
oh, it was a natural 20. Yeah.
What? Okay, you throw it down to 20.
about that.
Here's
Hey,
what
hey.
happens.
I
Oh,
forgot.
thank you
He
for
said I have
telling
a
me that. That's
+7.
freaking
Oh,
awesome.
27.
I'm new to this
And you're
shit.
trying to throw it straight down the path, or are you trying
Yeah.
to throw it just?
I want to throw
Oh.
it where I feel like the where arrows came from. Like,
Okay.
I know I can't tell, but like up and over his shoulder a little bit, so that it arcs as far as it'll go.
All right. So here.
This will be fun.
This
It becomes a fucking glowing missile. And it goes so far we lose track of it
Why
again. But what the fuck is that?
What is this?
For those of you at home, you can't tell that this is a blow-up doll.
Welcome to my secret dungeon.
This is my curious associate Raoul. Our relationship need not be specified. Or did I just like, I was able to see as my
Alright.
projectile flew what everything
So-
looks like.
And I'm sure the folks at home can't see this too much.
Here, we can put it on this camera.
We will.
It'll show on this camera.
So, you guys are like
It's not a penis.
here, right? Okay. So what happens is you throw this light and it hits the back wall back there.
Over here.
Nope.
Here.
Yep. There.
Yeah.
All the way to that back wall.
And then ding, 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 ding.
And then it keeps going like so. The back wall. Move this way a little bit so I can get there. So you throw it. It goes bing, 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 and slides all the way over here. X marks the spot, and there's a cave hole there. So, oop, So you guys are on this ledge up here, which is overlooking this path down here.
All my stupid fucking throw.
So you
rolls
throw,
when I
and it
throw.
goes slide over to here,
Perfect.
which is an opening. And drow.
We're temporarily blinded by my light.
They are.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
He threw it right in their fucking faces.
So,
Excited
just a
me.
little bit of visual aid to give the people here what they were doing.
Excited the people.
Excited P. So, this corridor, like this ledge is up here. This goes down, but it curves around. And so like the ledge, the place below goes underneath. Like it keeps going down there. But up here, it curves around, and there's a little entrance into another chamber over here. And there's two drow sitting in there with their crossbows, just firing at you as you're walking down this path, because they can see you bright as day from where they're at. But this light, he flings this light, and he goes...
Like kind of like rolls. There's a little parkour around
yeah, because it's a little round necklace.
Yeah,
It just follows the curve of the whole thing, and it's like shink, and it's and like all of a sudden like they're shooting just at the light, right? Like they see a light, they see a person holding that light, they're shooting it.
Yeah.
They're still kind of in dark vision. All of a sudden, yeah.
Magical flashbang.
This bright light comes around and hits them in the eyes. So they are both blinded for the turn.
All right. Well done. Zero nice.
So Iyasa was holding her action.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You can see him.
And just and a bunch of her little dragginglings.
Searing bolts.
Her
Searing
magic
ray.
missile.
Oh, magic missile.
Yeah,
That's right.
She's starting small.
They went down pretty... Well, we didn't see that.
He did some pretty good sneak attacks.
Like, I thought these things were supposed to be... You killed both of these things?
Those were good sneak attacks.
Yeah.
For mooks. 2 into 1, 1 into the other. Wow. So you heard most of that. So there's that curvature with the tunnel. Now the path that goes down goes under, like this, but this goes up to a chamber over up
At least
top.
to an entrance that we can see.
And there's two drow, like they were just shooting at the light. Your light went right in front of them. It blinded them. And the moment that she could see targets, Iyasa let loose her magic missiles, slams into one, like pretty hardcore, the one that's like kind of against the far wall and not as in cover. Two hits him, and he kind of slumps against the wall a little bit. And the other one just gets a sear across his face. They look totally blinded.
Fuck you, Drow. Fuck you. That is my job, Drow.
All right.
This is the opposite of sneaking. I'm like, over there!
Yeah. It's all
Savroth.
Do you have any distance spells?
He has his flame strike.
Sacred Flame and
Sacred
definitely Guiding Bolt. That seems possibly a little much right now. I'll just do Sacred Flame, I think.
Call it down on which one? The more or less wounded one? The more wounded one is not in cover. The less wounded one is in cover. I don't know if it requires a roll. It's a saving throw?
Dexterity saving throw.
Good thing Elven assassins are terrible at that.
But blinded.
Oh, they are?
And the target gains no benefit from cover for the saving throw. Okay. That's always the case. But
that covered less hurt one that's blinded might be the way to go, because he can hit the other one. Or, yeah, eventually when it's his turn.
Yeah, I'll go for the less hurt one.
Okay. They get disadvantage because he's blinded, and no cover save for bonus for. Yeah, it hits.
Nice.
No, that's not rolling D20 for damage. That would be epic.
D8.
Yeah. Go.
7.
Nice.
You don't
Not
knock
bad.
me off the ledge. I knock you off the ledge.
And what else does it do to them? Anything else?
I think that's it. Just take 1 B8 radiant damage.
Okay, so hits him. So Rofros, they are. So
If you can
it's a bit
describe
off.
to me this chamber for a fourth time, Okay.
They are 80 feet away from you.
Yeah.
You would have gotten into light range at 40 feet the next turn when you moved. So, but the curve.
Yeah, I still need to
80
mind that
feet.
curve
Yeah.
too. But I'm
So,
sorry.
rock nearby you can throw, or
I have a javelin.
You can move forward and throw a javelin.
They are lit.
Charging does what?
I don't know if I just use my action to move. I don't know if
But-
charging is still like a.
I think it's you can use your move and then charge, and the charge gets you an attack action and a move, right?
My movement's 30.
So then you can go 30, 60, you'd still be 20
Yeah.
short.
So
So-
I'm gonna take my movement because I don't want to rush because like I see what it is now, but there's still narrow ledge
Precarious,
curve that
yeah.
I'm not. Yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna move. I'm gonna move my movement and get a javelin ready.
Throw. All right.
Excellent.
That's going to be a 20.
That hits.
You sure? 20?
Sure.
Which one are you throwing at? Actually,
More wounded one. The one
that's not in cover. Is the
The more wounded one is in cover.
Oh,
but
it's
he's-
in
but
no,
he's-
the more wounded one is not in cover.
Oh, sorry. And
But
he's also blind.
Actually, from your hit already, they're equally wounded.
Oh.
But you should probably throw with the one
Well,
that's
it's not
less
in
in
cover.
cover.
Yeah. It's been a while since I threw a javelin.
Yeah, throw it at the one you can hit.
Equipment, javelin.
It's true.
Where'd it go? Why did it disappear? Jabs, where's my javelins?
Equipment, weapons, attack. Just look at attack.
Actions, attack. Oh, there it is. All right, cool. Yeah. 1d6 plus 4. It's going to be 9.
Dead.
It sticks to the wall.
Yeah. You're like, yeah. It just, well, actually, it hits, it slams against the wall, and then it just like kind of slumps, curves forward, so it's like laying on the ground with a javelin sticking out
Hell yeah, it
against
is.
the wall.
Eat javelin. I say to it violently.
You're traveling. Quit yelling.
That's my turn.
So you've moved up, done that. That's the end. Back to the top of the order. The blinded one that's against the edge of the wall takes his action to fall backwards. So he falls out of sight.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucker.
And he is no longer blinded.
I throw my other lighted rock.
Huh.
I mean, technically,
The area is still lit, but
light's a cantrip. That's technically like me or Ayasa could light up another object if we thought you could make another fantastic throw, and they're like, we're just gonna chase.
well, now that I
this guy
see
down
where to
the
throw,
road."
it's not the same. I'd be like, right there.
That was me on a 6. Is it Yasa's? Is she a little worse than me? No,
No,
because she
I-
held
She
that
has-
action.
I also and the
She has a
drow
19. Yeah. She rolled the best out of all of you.
So,
Yeah, maybe one of these days I'll play a character that has dexterity, but I don't know.
oh, they're terrible.
Well, D&D games we played, my initiative's in +0.
She doesn't really have anything to do. She doesn't have a target. She can risk like throwing a fireball, but she wouldn't know if she hit anything but that one dude.
Yeah.
Not worth using her big spell slot for. So what she's going to do is she prestidigitations the sound of bootsteps on the path below as far forward as she can make them. So it sounds like there's people moving on the bottom path. Maybe throw them off.
Immediately let the others know that there's more down below.
And there's more. It sounds like they're coming from on down below. And Yasa's like,
She tells us she does
I do
that,
think
right? 'Cause
Rofrust might
otherwise,
say do that,
Rofrust
but
would
I'm
probably be very much like,
Yasa's alerts you.
yeah. I can hear casting a spell and it's immediately followed by that. So
All right. Next is Xernex.
This is the part where I should have tied a string to my necklace before I through it so that I could call it back, but it's too late. It's over there. So I can't push forward with him in front of me.
You are
you can see it.
you are a person. Do you have a? You didn't take acrobatics, did you?
Yeah,
Did you?
I think so.
You can use. I mean, I bet you're good at it, even
Pretty
if you
damn
don't have
good
it.
at it.
You can use your acrobatics to like literally grab his arm and swing around him and move forward if you want.
Let's do it.
And this is part of your movement.
17.
Yeah, easily enough. So you just basically swing underneath his arm
Pardon me.
and move
I
your
give
way
him a copper
forward.
slap on the way by.
The copper slap. All right.
Sorry, I'm
I was
just
waiting for
I'm
the
here to
blood
buy
bowl.
this.
Your mouth is almost sounding
No,
loud.
he's actually-
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know this face, but he's aroused right now. It's like you don't
How
do
you know
that.
I don't know that phrase.
Wait, how do you know I know that face?
My next.
I think we all know what it looks like.
All I know is I need to eat more limes so I can see. Is that how you cure scurvy? Is that you?
Yeah, citrus.
I was waiting for the crit fail right there and just see him
So-
fall off the ledge again.
You are moving up. Use your acrobatics to get around
He's been
him.
poisoned again. There's more.
You only move 30 feet. You can use your cunning action as a dash. You can move 60 feet. Now you are 20 feet away from where
We saw him.
the light is dropped. But you are now on the curve, walking or going directly into that cave room with the light illuminating it. You see that there are, in that room, up ahead, as you're coming around and coming up to it, you see some crates or boxes or some stuff. Looks like they're covered with something, not exactly sure. You see the guy on the ground, because he just fell backwards, so you have clear line of sight to him if you want to shoot him. The rest of the room seems empty.
All right. Yeah, I'm shooting that guy first.
So,
I'm pretty sure it's 8, but...
Yeah.
You'd normally have advantage because,
He's prone, but it's...
it's actually disadvantage for shooting at someone who's prone, or they get cover.
Oh.
But just go ahead and roll because it's lit up and he was still coming off a blinded regular roll.
27.
That'll hit. It doesn't matter if he had cover or not.
Hit it between the teeth.
11.
Dead.
I was like,
Yeah.
anyway.
That drow passes away as your arrow thumps into his prone body. He stops
GM.
moving. Huh?
I hurry up to the edge
Okay.
and then see this.
It's
Oh.
Savroth next.
I mean, I would just be moving up behind.
Okay,
these
move
guys.
up behind him.
Well, you moved up ahead. I'm seeing these guys. Does
Yep.
it look like they're still like...
Well, now it's your turn. You don't do anything else in your action besides moving up. So you move up behind Xeranax. You don't see anything else move in the room. You see these two unmoving bodies.
Great. I get my javelin back.
Okay. So out of combat now, since there doesn't seem to be any imminent danger, you guys move forward with you in the lead now. So it's you in the lead. Rofros, Savroth, Ayasa, as you head in.
Would
You
like to
retrieve your arrows.
Arrow and my lighty necklace.
You got your lady necklace. You get your javelin.
Cool.
You enter this room, and it's looked like it's been set up for someone, and probably someone important. There's a lap desk, so a desk that's on the floor, doesn't have legs or anything, just something someone you could stow and carry. There's nothing on it. It's whatever was on it, probably hastily removed, but there's furs next to it. There's a place that looks like probably someone slept, which was overlapping furs and some pillows. Looks like someone of importance was in this little alcove that's above. So, again, when you walked in this place, this went down to a big opening. This went up over to this. And to the left is a large exit out of this room.
This was an excellent
And
place
you-
to rest for a week. Just kidding.
And you hear things now from that way. You hear
From this new left.
from this new left exit some common just murmur of crowd murmur. It sounds a little bit elevated, possibly a little bit panicked. Through that, though, you do hear a couple sharp words in a language you don't understand passing forth, and they're call outs He goes,
Oh dear.
They're probably just putting on a play. That's good.
yeah, probably. Shakespeare, Hamlet.
Probably should interrupt that. Let's go back down the.
I mean, there's nothing to see here, obviously.
You guys.
So, what are you doing?
How far away was this cave from the village? Did it take us like hours to get here?
No,
It was like,
no.
that was like 3 hours, you said. Isn't that what it was?
No,
No, less than that.
less than that. Yeah, not very far.
Okay. Interesting. You hear those voices. Let's see the left.
And the
Those-
murmur sounds like a fairly big crowd.
Yeah.
Now, are we? So we're not actually hearing distinct language from the murmur, right? We're just hearing noises.
Just hearing noises.
But the other ones is
The call
clearly a
outs.
language, but it's just not one that we know.
Correct. The callouts are loud and sharp and in a language you don't understand. The general murmur is too many and too low for you to understand if you know the language or not.
And we're hearing all of this through this new left turn passageway up in this top chamber.
Correct.
Okay.
Totally ring that chamber.
Did we notice any more of these tracks? Like, how dirty was this cave floor? Did we notice, like,
Up here?
No, like when we were coming in, maybe like when we were going down.
Good one. Make an investigation check to see if you recall this detail.
All right. Well,
Oh, what is that?
8 plus what? Just intelligence, right?
Yeah.
Oh
I should
shit.
just have an investigation on there.
Investigation.
Plus
Yeah. So
Yeah.
8.
You don't recall taking notice. You were focused on other things.
Sarah, do you remember?
You literally were like your lighted hammer.
If you bring it up, like
I
you
do.
can, you can ask the group.
Because like we don't know. There might, if they just took a whole village, there's probably a lot of them.
Yeah.
They need
He
to
also
do it.
is like, that lower path was very muddy.
But we might be looking, as we look over the exit, kind of, especially this room is something special, we might be looking out over like a balcony.
Yeah.
If I look ahead a little bit.
So far from what you're seeing is like, so this, like, yeah, these paths, right? Like, this one goes down, this one over. If this is left, this could swing back over to where that main path kept going down.
Yeah.
I could sneak ahead.
Sounds like there's a lot of them. It'd be very dangerous if you got caught, but
Danger is my middle name.
that's true. I heard that from your cousin.
It's Goldath Dangers, you're next.
Yeah.
I mean, in this room we're in, there's
My middle name
no,
comes before my first name.
there's not
Yeah.
like doorways, right? This is just.
Well, that's their next
It's a
danger.
clan thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's just a big opening, like
So as soon
stalactites coming off of
As
it.
soon as we turn that corner, if we head down there with lit up crap, whatever's
in
we're
that-
hearing is we able to turn.
If it's a
Most
big room,
likely.
whatever can see you. Because regardless of how far you can see with a torch,
Mhm.
to see a torch is much further away.
I can go ahead.
I don't think they would have let a throng of people through this nice little third place. It would just be trampled. And if Fianza said the path in here was muddy,
The
then it
path
would be,
below,
the path below is muddy. Oh, okay.
not this path.
But it seems weird that they wouldn't lead like a whole bunch of people through this nice room, though. They probably
Not here.
people probably went down below, and there might be officers or something. Whoever's in charge of this. I mean, this was like a
Was
He's
here, and if
absolutely right.
you're absolutely right. If you would have been able to sneak up on this room, you might have found the person in charge just doing his business,
Yeah.
but that failed. And
Yeah.
now the officers are somewhere else.
They're probably down this left chamber,
Yeah.
probably gathering up
The
a bunch of
only
people that
other
will kill us all.
exit. Yeah.
But isn't there another?
There is. We can go back down to the down way and just go directly into where we think we're heading now. Those are the two exits.
Because I think that's where the people would be.
You're right. So why don't I go ahead and look
Down,
over
down,
out that door real quick?
Yeah, all right, you do that.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and sneak down
Alright.
this left passageway?
Go for it.
What's everyone laughing at me?
16.
I don't think you get the geography of this dungeon. Is what I'm trying to
Oh,
say.
I know. Well, you can say it might look over to wherever this was
So,
going,
yeah,
but it might not.
Imagine this.
You might not.
So
Yeah.
here's our path with that little thing. Here's the room. Here's the other path. And now if we move this back a little bit, so here's the room, here's where the sounds are coming from, and we might be above it.
We might, yeah. But it's just a big risk because if it's... Alright.
You're going forward.
Yeah.
Okay. So you sneak out of this room. This room also is kind of an overhang. Looks like, this cuts off, and there's like another arm of this pathway that's going that way. And it's kind of circling around. So you enter in this area, you're letting your eyes adjust. There is some light further down into this place, but this is getting bigger. You can absolutely tell that this is where that path leads to. You're now on another overhang, looking down to a larger area. This larger area goes down, and then there's a further path that keeps kind of going down, a large opening. But in this big chamber, looking down, you see torchlight and some campfire types things way in the back with big wooden cages set up, just filled with what seems to be bodies of people.
Commander, there's nothing to see here. We have found the enemy.
So, and as you're heading out looking around, you see that upon this path, there are people on it watching this chamber. They haven't spotted you yet as you're like tucked into the corner, going down and looking.
But their area is lit, so I can see them.
They're up on the path. They're up on the ledge with you. They're not down in this cavern.
But I can see them.
You can see their shapes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, you can see that there's people on this overhang. And now it looks like, big cavernous room. So, main path comes out to a big cavernous room.
I get that.
This thing goes whoop into this chamber and goes woo, all the way back around, down, and even into that outlet.
I got that, but up on top I see the people, but
Yeah.
they're basically underlit.
Yeah, they're a little bit they're a little bit backlit because that cavernous, so they're backlit a little bit. You see their shapes.
There's still no light up here.
There's still no light up here except for what's back in your room, and you're hoping you're not too backlit from their light. They don't seem to be moving or anything. As you're kind of...
Before he went out there, I could have just taken the light off of...
Or you can cover it
hammer
behind them, wrap it on the
because
thing.
we wouldn't be shining our light out
Right.
the door.
There's just ambient.
They can write my name.
So one of the shadows that's up on that ledge parts from the rest and moves forward and says, "You there, if you're intelligent and can speak, we should talk before you do something regrettable."
I'll message that quickly back to Savrov through his skin.
Do you think he saw you?
No.
Just kidding.
He can't reciprocate through message, can he?
Yeah.
He can, yes.
I think
So-
message is a...
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, cool.
once
Then
It's
I'm
a
starting
quick.
with
It's a
it.
quick
two-
two-way.
It's like,
two-
hey,
yeah.
this guy's calling me out with a proposal.
We are at 12:06, so we can cut it there. Or if you guys want to push it.
I think if we go any farther, we're going to really get into it. I think this is a good cut.
Okay. So you are in this cave. You have gotten spotted by a specific person. He has called out to you, saying that he wants to speak to you before you or them do anything further.
Music's way more intense than this area. The whole time it's been like real calm, oblivion, and like Chrono Trigger, and then it's like I'm sneaking along.
All right. Well, our friends have entered a drow cave where villagers are being held captive, and they've been spotted. Unfortunately, it was very unfortunate, but it happens, and now they have to deal with those consequences. They do have a giant outside. If they could get these people out there, that'd be great. But
Yeah, that's the thing.
next week we'll be playing, but the week after that we will not.
Yeah.
So
Unless you want a special guest star of my 5-year-old son.
No,
It's
no one's-
gonna be too late in the evening for him to play anyway.
Daddy, I'm tired. We're gonna fight the drow, son.
We thank everyone who watched, especially Magical Treehouse.
Yeah, thanks for
Magic
joining us.
Treehouse. Thanks for following. Thanks for conversing in the chat. Thanks for everything. Who wants to take us out?
Your turn.
Robert, take us out.
How should I? Stay tuned next time for the thrilling conclusion of God. There's probably so much more to this too. Thanks for everything, people. Well, come in next week, not the week after.
Next
Next
Wednesday,
week.
same time, Arizona, 9 p.m.
Yeah.
9 p.m. Arizona time, which is unlike every other time. Right now, we are synced with
California.
Yeah.
We're synced with Pacific time
November.
till October,
I think
Till
it's
October.
Yep.
this year. Yeah.
Alright.
and then we will be synced with Mountain Time. So we don't do the whole time zone change. It's great for us, bad for everyone else. Also, this adventure, I love the name. I pride myself on it. It's called A Giant Loss. Aw.
I like the giant.
So, tune in next week for the thrilling conclusion of A Giant Loss.
Bye.
Bye.